Good evening, Tucker sports fans. It's the Swanton Welding pregame show with your host, Scott Barrett.
LC Tiger Sports welcomes in legendary head coach, 10 years at Findlay, 13 years at Bryan, in which we got a chance to play against each other, Coach Height. Cliff Height, WFIN out of Findlay, will cover this game for Liberty-Benton, the Liberty-Benton Eagles. And Coach Height, you and I go way back, very warm feelings. You were a tremendous coach in the NWOAL back when it was the real deal, and it's just always great to spend time with you, and thanks for joining LC Tiger Sports Live.
Well, it's always great to be able to talk to the best linebacker I ever had to coach against in the NWOAL.
You know, you've been very consistent with that, and I appreciate
It's
that.
true.
And I write you a check. You get the check in the mail. I need your new address, but Liberty-Benton this year, Coach. I mean, I know that you do a lot of Findlay stuff. You played at Kentucky, 1977 grad, just a great football player for the Wildcats. So you've got a lot of background in this game, and quite frankly, one of the most innovative offensive coaches prior to the whole innovation of the game. We played a lot of sandlot, rockhead, wing tee, robust tee football, and you brought in a lot of different creativity in the passing game, and so Liberty-Benton does that. Scott Garlock in his 9th season, he's 72-12, and this Liberty-Benton team is 10-1, another Blanchard Valley Conference or championship, and this team can score. This is a little bit like what you like to see, a lot of throwing, but they're balanced. But the Elkert boys are just dynamite. Tell me about Liberty-Benton and their offense.
Well, it's interesting because Scotty Garlock, their head coach, who is a Findlay High School grad,
right?
And so, I mean, I've known him for forever. He volunteered to be a part of our staff in an all-star game over in Fostoria. They used to have a East-West all-star game every year, and he wanted to be on our staff. And I didn't know this until just yesterday, but he took copious notes on what we were doing on offense. And then he started telling me the plays that they run at Liberty, and it still had the same names that we had when we were coaching way back then. So it was, I mean, he said, I hope you're flattered. And I go, well, I'm amazed. He said, but I loved your offense. And I said, I'm going to do that.
Is he paying you a royalty, Coach? Because this offense,
not a penny, Scotty, not a penny.
When you watch this on film, Cliff, and I'll be honest with you, I know your offense. I've seen the concepts. We were around each other at Findlay and certainly played against you. They do a lot of motion, a lot of 3 to 5 wides, but they can run out of it. You know, they got a nice looking quarterback and Trevin Lieb. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things. Obviously the Elkert boys are next level. You know, Seth's going to go to Toledo. He's only a junior. He's already committed. So talk about their talented players, their size, the way they do things there at Liberty-Benton.
Well, the thing is, I know that you at Liberty Center love your offensive and defensive linemen, but I really like this offensive line for Liberty-Benton. I think that they're pretty solid, and I think that I think it should be a nice matchup. Now, I got to be honest with you. 2 years ago, I thought the same thing, and we got up there and got crushed. And Liberty Center looked like the Liberty Center I remembered, and Liberty-Benton just couldn't keep up with them then. So I'm a little gun shy as far as optimism, and I have not seen them in person on the field yet this year. So I'll be watching and learning as we go, and it's going to be a quick learn because bingo, one game you could be out. But I know about Liberty Center, and going backwards where people steal things, because I said Scotty wanted to run what we ran. I remember when Rex Lindgren went from head wrestling coach to doing both that and the head football coach, and at Liberty Center when I was at Bryant. So he was a rookie coach when I'd been there a few years. I'd been there a couple of years maybe. But what he did, I used to think, wow, I don't know if that's going to work. But it seemed like he took the favorite 2 plays that he liked that Archibald ran and the favorite 2 or 3 plays that Brian ran and a couple of plays that Wasion ran and molded it into an offense. Then he took it to the next level and perfected it, and it became a juggernaut. Because, Scotty, let's be honest, we talked about this before. When you were a freshman and you were a sophomore, you guys weren't very good. And that's the last time you guys weren't really good. And the reason you got good was because all you guys started as freshmen, you all started as sophomores, By the time you were juniors, you were veterans, and by the time you were seniors, you dominated. And that program's never lost a beat. I know, if you guys go 6-4, that's a bad season at Liberty Center. I mean, and I know what that program's been. And Rex gets tons of credit, and I know he's honored at the stadium and the press box and all that bit, but he deserves it because he molded it into what his personality. And he had that wrestling, tough personality that made Liberty Center so good. And we were always fearful. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, the reason we did what we did on offense in Bryant, I had some good receivers, I had some good quarterbacks and some good running backs.
You did.
And I had great big linemen.
You did.
And I had a couple of them that couldn't get in the 3-point stance because of their bellies. So we stood them up. We did things that nobody was doing, but we did it out of necessity. But that gave us a chance to really give people a lot to worry about because nobody else was doing it then. So if you ran a 5-2 cover 3 and you had a strong safety on the trips, we were going to eat you alive. And not you guys, not Liberty Center, but I'm talking normally. When I came to Findlay, we were going against Sandusky, and they had one of the most renowned coaches of all time in Larry Cook. But he was not going to change his defense for my Mickey Mouse offense. And we just burned them, like 56 points we scored because they had one guy on our trips. And when it's 3 against 1, we're going to win that battle.
Well, you talk about creativity in offense. You talk about Scotty Garlock kind of taking a lot of pages out of your notebook.
Well, and he's added to it.
He has, and this offense is averaging about 350 yards per game, which is impressive. They're scoring, 41, 42 points a game, Cliff, and they're doing it with just a lot of spread concepts, and they're getting the ball to their best athletes, which you always did. You always had 2 or 3 dudes that could run it, catch it, get vertical, throw the ball horizontally, make guys miss, and you're doggone right. That was something that Brian and I talked about. That the offensive line at Liberty-Benton is different. They're bigger. They've been through some playoff wars. They block well. They run block well. So the things you're talking about with Liberty-Benton, the things that you did, I can see a lot of synergies between you and Scott Garlock.
Well, and think about this, Scotty. When you spread out, that also spreads out your defense.
Right.
And if you can get a linebacker that's moved out a little bit, that can open up your running game. And that's what you want to do. We spread people secretly love to run the football.
Right.
We love to. And if you got a running back that can, do the things that Liberty-Benton has, then you're smiling. And if you can get your good guys out in space as well, then it causes a lot of problems. And that's what that whole spread thing's all about. But what Urban Meyer did, he took the spread and then he added the midline option. And so people were running triple option and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I never even thought of doing things like that. And that made it even tougher to defend.
Well, you got a back in Zach Elkert, 6'3", 195, who's a banger up inside and sees the block and understands what he's doing in terms of cutting off of his blocks and home run type running back in this spread. Brian Babcock has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah. You
have a question for him? Oh, no, Brian Babcock does not have a question. He's just observing. He's saying, hey, man, I'm taking notes on what Coach Height says. So let's talk a little bit about the defense. They are playing good defense, Coach. They're only giving up about 9 points a game. They have won 10 games. They've won 8 in a row after the Columbus Grove loss. But the thing that I can't get over is the strength of schedule. That Blanchard Valley Conference is a little bit softer. I think their strength of schedule is 96 right now, which is not the best. Liberty Center comes in, I think, somewhere around 57. So maybe give some color to Liberty-Benton's overall program, the conference they play in, and some of the expectations in that program.
Well, they're in the process of actually leaving the conference. They got it too big for the conference.
Right.
And some of the smaller teams have started to wean themselves out of the conference as well. And so it's starting to be a little tougher. They brought in Elmwood. They brought in Ada. They did some things like that. They tried for a while to get Hopewell out and people like that in, but that didn't work for them. But they have tried. But they're now looking for a conference to be more competitive for them, which gets you ready. You know as well as I do. Well, okay. Let me give you a great example of what a schedule can do for you. Findlay High School, a decent team this year, but not great, but a good program. Played St. Ed's last Friday, and we did the game. St. Edward's was 5-5, but they had lost to the potential state champions in Kentucky and in Maryland, lost to Cleveland Glenville, lost to Massillon, and they lost to Akron Hoban. All teams that are going to be in the fight for the state championship at their respective locations. So they were 5-5. They looked like a undefeated state championship football team. They looked phenomenal against the Trojans and just spanked them. In fact, we even got to the running clock part in the second half. I mean, it got that bad.
Wow.
They looked the first 5 times they touched the ball, they scored.
All right, let's talk briefly. Let's wrap this thing up and talk a little bit about what your expectations are tomorrow night. You know Liberty Center very well. We're a wing T football team that loves to rush the football. We're not as balanced as what Scott Garlock has at Liberty-Benton. I think that Patrick Henry gave maybe Liberty-Benton a little preview as to how to manage Liberty Center. PH had a lead late in that game. Liberty went on a late drive to win. There's a little 6 degrees of separation here, as you know, Columbus Grove, who plays a lot like Liberty Center. You know that. You've been around this game a long time, and they got after Liberty-Benton pretty good in the run game. Liberty-Benton cannot turn the ball over tomorrow. So talk about Liberty-Benton, Liberty Center, and your expectations for this matchup, Coach.
Well, I think if they could establish the running game, I think they would do that. But here's the thing, too. I know you guys will. And I also know you guys will control the clock. Here's an interesting thing about time of possession. Usually if you're a sport team, you don't care, especially if you receive the opening kickoff and if you score first and you get lucky enough to hold a team down and maybe score again. If you have a 10 to 14-point lead, then the other team who was going to run the ball and eat up the clock is behind, and they have to do things maybe they don't want to do. So that's the strategy, I think, for Liberty-Benton, is to try to get Liberty Center to do what they don't want to do, but they do what they do so well, it's going to be hard to do that. I mean, you and I both know that running game at Liberty Center is phenomenal.
It is. The offensive line has been dominant, and it continues to that tradition of controlling the line of scrimmage. As we depart, Coach, your 13 years at Bryan were highly successful. And since we're an NWOAL community and people know you so well here, you've spoken a lot of churches and a lot of different banquets, and you've been up here many times in your illustrious career. One memory, Bryan Liberty Center that our fan base can connect to. What would you say?
When Joe Ruth, our star running back, was a senior, and you guys were doing your pregame warm-up, and you were cheering, Roos, 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 and you guys were so focused to stop him, and he had tremendous games against Liberty Center when he was a sophomore and a junior, and you guys shut him down. And I mean, ate him, and he was done. I mean, I don't know if he even had 40 yards that game, if that. And that was so impressive to me. And that's when I knew the Liberty Center program was not only on its way, but it was here to stay. And that's what happened. But I got to tell you a quick one if I can.
Sure.
I know I've told you this, and maybe I told you this the last time we talked on the air. But I spoke at a church in Liberty Center one time. And I stood up and I did this exercise where I said, we're going to do the clap drill. And it's to try to get off the ball all at the same time. So I yell set, you all clap. And they were good. They were good. And I kept going faster and faster and faster. And I said, I just wanted to know what it's like for the head football coach in Bryan to get a standing ovation in Liberty Center.
That is why you're beloved at Liberty Center.
I got
right
booed
there
in the church, and then they laughed. They laughed, and I became great friends with Liberty Center people. It was a weird way of doing it, but it worked.
That's great, Coach. We appreciate you coming in and doing a little time with us on the Liberty-Benton Liberty Center matchup this week. We're anxious to see you in the booth, and you're always welcome in Liberty Center, Coach. Thanks for coming.
What? Scotty, one quick thing. I never tell the opposition good luck, but I always say have a good one, and that's what I have to do. You understand,
I understand
where we're coming from here.
A lot of respect.
But have a good one, okay?
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty.
Take care.
All right.
Second round of the playoffs, big matchup with Liberty-Benton. Coach Bowler and I talk about it on the 50 this week. Welcome to another edition on the 50 with Coach Casey Moeller. It feels like we've been meeting since consistently for the last 3 years doing this together. So not the worst place to be, still playing football late in the season, Coach.
Yeah, it's, when we're here talking football, it's always good. It's a good sign.
Do you ever stop talking football?
Maybe for a month.
Yeah, you get about
December,
25 days and you're back on it. Little something off grid. I'm just watching these Washington Commanders / when you grew up, Redskins. I mean, not that you have a ton of time to focus on the NFL, but when you kick back on Sunday, your Commanders look good.
Usually around December, I'll check them out. I can check out the scores here and there, but there's not a lot of focus on.
I love when you and Rob grew up. You had the Eagle fan, the Redskin fan, and I know that you guys are focused on Liberty Center football. Kind of fun though between the brothers a little bit. Both teams playing pretty well.
There's just a little bit talking going on here and there.
A little bit. Now let's get back to business. Liberty Center with a big victory over Utica this week. Utica came in as a 15 seed and probably, to my opinion, did belong in this playoff, but I don't make the rules. If I did, it would be different. But Liberty Center, you guys really had they had some momentum early, a couple first downs, and it seems like that's what you and Matt Bryan on the defensive side, you have to see what they got before you can make those adjustments. I think after about the fifth play, you guys had this thing down because they did look good and sharp. Couple interesting plays, that little I don't know what you call that little slot option play they ran. So they came with a creative game plan, but you got right on top of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, when you play a team you've never seen before,
Right.
You're only watching film. It's hard to gauge where they're at. So you never know, with teams like that, what you're going to get. And offensively, they had done so many things throughout the year. Again, you weren't quite sure what you were going to see. Gave up a couple first downs, and then we stiffened up. And from there, I thought, we controlled the game, every facet of the game. So that was good to see. We talk about getting off to a fast start, and outside of those first two first downs, I thought we started out very fast.
And some of the research I did on Utica, a couple of things I took away that I liked a lot because I think it impacts you as well. He was a Utica grad. He played college football. He had been there 7 years. He was the Central District Coach of the Year. They had a 7-win season. Prior to that, they had 10 losing seasons. There was momentum. There's some momentum in that program, and there's pride in that program. I mean, not that you wouldn't go to Bryan and have pride in your program, but coming from Liberty Center, he's coming from Utica. I think it means more to uphold legacy, and the community means more. People. I mean, do you think that's an impact for you, and that would be an impact for what Utica's coach brought into the game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you're born and raised somewhere, you have a vested interest in that community. If you live there, I think people that, for me, I wasn't going to be a head coach anywhere else other than here. That I would guess that's probably the same for him. It's not like you're career climbing.
Right.
This is just, the next rung on the ladder. So I think that all is important. And, you're going to care about that program, not because you want to win, but because it's your hometown and your family lives there. You have a lot of pride.
Well, certainly I thought that was going to make a bit of an impact, and I just gave him a lot of credit because I think they've had their struggles, but it didn't take long for you to get things under control. It's great to see. Utica played that thing pretty straight up, got you inside the 20, and then Thomas Moeller breaks off the big touchdown, and I think things started to kind of go our way from there. Talk about Thomas. We joke about your lack of speed. Thomas is not known as a speed merchant, although he is faster than you. But that had to be kind of broke through the line of scrimmage, left our left side of our offensive line, gave him a lane, and then we got some great blocking from Cam Colley downfield for a big touchdown.
Well, I think, first of all, our blocking on that play was phenomenal, and not just at the point of attack. Point of attack was really good.
Yeah.
We walled things off. We had a great kick out from Whalen. But even Garrison blocking on the outside did a good job. Cam Colley was downfield getting in guys' way. And then if you go back and watch it, Brady Gieske, getting downfield, finding a body, and he just kind of gets two hands and shoves a guy, and then he ends up taking three players out.
Yeah.
And those are we call those touchdown blocks. When you get downfield and get in a guy's way. And I think, probably Thomas's biggest strength is his vision.
Yeah, for sure.
When he got into level 2, he was able to set his blocks up and utilize them in a very good way. And then, took it to the house. But, that was a total team effort from 11 guys. And, you're not going to have success unless you get that.
Well, certainly Thomas Moeller is one of the best. He reminds me of Kerry Crew a little bit, how Kerry used to set up his blocks right behind that, that guard. And then all of a sudden, you see him break out for big gains. And good to see that with Thomas. But you have talked about this. I know I talked to Nick Miller about it, Todd Spengler, Brad Howe, your offensive line group. You got to block downfield with this team. I don't know that I've ever seen. I know the captain, Mark Bly, and Spike talk about it. They're watching the blocks downfield. I'm trying to get level 1 in the booth, but the blocks downfield have just been phenomenal for a long time. I think you put a major emphasis on blocking downfield.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people aren't going to notice, but when you get big plays, it's usually because you got somebody downfield. It doesn't have to be a huge block, but if they're standing there in the way, that's an obstacle the defender has to get around, and the offensive runner can utilize that. And we've got guys that take a lot of pride in that. They know if they don't, it's going to be pointed out on film. So that's something we emphasize, and our guys have bought into it.
Sometimes, I know you look at plays at plus 20, and there's all kinds of metrics to grade your offense by. Your offense isn't what you would call super explosive in the pass game, but you do get explosive plays in the run game because of that downfield blocking. But you get explosive plays on defense a lot. And Cam Colley really showed up the other night. Of course, we had 3 interceptions, but Cam Colley in the open field is a special player. He's one of the all-time great special teams players, guys with the open field vision, and he is explosive. Talk about Cam Colley a little bit.
Well, he's twitchy.
Yes.
And, if you're running a 100-meter dash, he's probably going to be real fast for the first 40, and then he's not super strong after that. But in football, you want that burst, that quickness, that stop and start, and he's got all that. And he really has, I think, a good vision about him. You might ask, well, why doesn't he go up and play press coverage and things like that? I think he's better off. He likes to see things and then just react and go. There was another pass early in that game where he'll tell you if that was a good throw, that was a pick 6 too, because it wasn't a very good throw, but he had jumped the route.
It was a little out route on their sidelines, wasn't it? Yep, right.
And, whether or not he would have had it or not, I don't know, but he says he would have. But that's just kind of how he plays, is he sees things, and a lot of it comes from film study. He knows what the routes are that they like. He knows how to leverage, the split. If that wide receiver's in a little bit tighter, he's going to outside leverage it and play the out and things like that. But he's a weapon defensively. He kind of reminds you of the Honey Badger a little bit.
A little bit.
He's going to get the ball. And when he does, good things happen.
Right. Talk about your cover corners. I just feel like they've just been so good for you for a couple of years. I mean, Grady Miller has been a complete stop sign out there. I mean, she's a shutdown corner, size, great athlete. I was talking to some community members this last week. And between him and Cammie, and then you've had some other guys step into those roles, but those two in particular have really changed the game for you. You could do a lot of different things in the back end with those guys, and you know they could get a job done. They've been great for a couple of years.
Yeah, they've for 2 straight years they've been extremely reliable. And a lot of people probably don't pay attention to the nuances, but fundamentally they're very, very good. When teams try to go deep, Cam's got good foot speed, but he's also very technical in what he does. And Grady's kind of the same way. He understands he's got good length, good size. And in order to use that, he's got to squeeze those receivers to the sideline and constrict that space. And he does a great job. We changed some things technique-wise on how we want to play deep balls and things like that. And, we discussed maybe last year, we're not really looking for the ball on those go routes. We're going to play the receiver and just try to get the ball out of there. I think that's kind of a trend in football at all levels. And sometimes you don't get it, but, these guys have done a good job of really working on that craft and making those plays.
You've had a lot of players step up the last couple of weeks. There's been some opportunities presented. You are always good with the opportunity to play players that don't get a lot of frontline snaps. And if you've got players that are injured or some players that got to pay a price, you have plenty of options, and you have definitely exercised those options the last 2 weeks. I really felt like there was a handful of players that when I'm watching, you knew this game was going to get under control once you guys did a few things. And all of a sudden you started seeing that depth rise, and you start thinking a little bit of next year, although we've got a lot of work to do this year. Handful of players we talked about maybe before our interview. Tyler Roars has given you some great snaps. A really nice looking athlete. You're kind of a deep safety rover guy. He can run the football. He's got some speed. I think Tyler Roars has been a nice player the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's doing a great job for us. And I think it started on special teams. He embraced his role on special teams and knew that was, what his role was early in the season. And then, we've been fortunate enough to get some running clock games or get comfortable leads, and he's got a lot of reps on offense and defense. And I think that experience has been very good for him to, be able to perform, in big games when his number's called. And we've had a handful of guys like that where, you got to take time to develop. And I think when you look at playing JV games and then getting a little bit of varsity time and special teams, he's gotten a lot of reps this year. That's really done a world of good for him.
You guys have really done some excellent work on using that JV team for a little stick and carrot, little carrot, little stick, a lot of development. You've got your varsity coaches down there. That is not, even though some people struggle with that, playing Friday night and especially role playing Saturday, that is really, you've got plans for those teams. You're watching that film and you're rewarding kids. You're coaching. That's the development wing of this program, is the JV team.
Well, absolutely. And, we look at other kids, like I'll take a Mason Smith,
Right.
who switched positions right as the regular season was starting. And in order to learn that position, he had to get reps on JV, and he knew that and wanted that. And now has emerged as a guy that we can rely on offense at a new position, and even defensively, where he had some physical tools that we liked early in the season, but needed to get the fundamentals of it down a little bit, and has just blossomed and become very reliable, and again embrace that role. And when opportunity presents itself, he's taken it.
Well, Mason Smith has shown up the last couple of weeks on film. You like his size; he's getting bigger and stronger. And of course, you never think about next year today, but some days I think you have to think about the future. Mason Smith, a big part of that. Another guy I think has stepped up for you and had a really nice year. I'm not surprised by it, but he has paid his dues and taken those baby steps every year, and it's really shown up. Kyler Kern you've got stars up front. He may not be an everyday star, but he is starting to play like one, and Kyler Kern's been outstanding for us.
Yeah, that's another guy that before the season started, we said, we think this position change is going to be better for you,
right,
and for the team. And he embraced that and has just gotten better and better and better. But his off-season work is allowed him to be put in that position. He's worked hard for 4 years, and just is starting to bloom and blossom right now. But he's a team player.
Yes.
He'll do whatever it takes to help the team, and he's very unselfish. And those are things you want to look for in those guys. And he's really embraced that and helped our team tremendously this year.
That runs in the family a little bit. I got a chance to coach Kenzie Kern. He was a running back in a long line of Kerns, and they asked him to change his position to center. I don't know how well that was received initially, but he became an All-Ohio center on a state championship team, playing with a broken hand, and gave up what he wanted for what the team needed. And I think that's exactly what Kyler Kern has done.
Sure.
Hats off to Kyler. He's had a great season and really finishing a career that's going to be a model. You'll talk about that. You'll talk about paying your dues and all these years of not maybe getting varsity starts, and all of a sudden, here's your chance. Kyler has made the most of it. Two other players briefly I wanted to talk about: Will Fitzenreiser, Isaac Worth. We have bragged a lot about what Brian Hefflinger has done. I always thought Paul Amstutz was a really good special teams coach. Brian maybe has taken that to another level, possibly. Wow, you've had some great play in special teams. My gosh, we could talk about we could have a show on special teams. That's how good it's been. Coverage teams, extra points, with Phil Fitzenreiter, your long snapper, your extra point snapper. There's a lot of good things that Will Fitzenreiter and Isaac Worth have done for you this year.
Yeah, they kind of both recognized, all right, if I want to get on the field, this is my best opportunity. And I can remember Isaac early in the season even coming up to Coach Hefflinger and asking, what do I got to do to be on the kickoff unit or special teams? And he said, hey, this is what you got to do. You got to show us some practice. And that's exactly what he's done. And then that translates to a game. And those guys are hungry. They want to be a part of.
Well, they play like it.
Yeah, they want to be a part of the success. And I don't think people understand how important our special teams have been for our success over the last couple of years, and this year is no different. Our coverage units have been fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Now we're going to see a whole nother level this week, and so it's going to be a big challenge. But Will and Isaac and really the rest of those guys on those units have just been off the charts. Will's another guy who's paid his dues and has really embraced his role, and I think that's the big thing. Every parent wants their kid to be the star. Every kid wants to be the star of the team, but that's not real. Everybody's going to have a role, and if you embrace that role, you can be really, really good at it. And that's what we got in a lot of these kids is they just embrace what their role is. Always continue to try to get better at everything, but here's my role. I'm going to be the best at this role for the time I have it.
Isn't that an analogy for life? You got to pay your dues a little bit before you get to realize some of the spoils of the work. And these guys, they didn't pout and whine and stand on the sidelines and wish they played. They're actually getting the work done and making that incremental progress. And now they really are standout players, like stars, whatever, but they are standout players for you in really key special teams. And I like what you always talk about with special teams. There's a lot of snaps there. There's a lot of snaps there. There's letters to be won. There's productivity. You reward it on the Saturday morning film review. there's lots of things going on in special teams I don't think people know about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, they call it special teams because it's special.
Right.
It's not offense, it's not defense, but it can be a game changer. And these guys are competitive, and we've got guys that want to be on it, and that's very rare. I think today's day and age, a lot of times, you get guys, especially guys that start, they don't, I don't want to be on special teams. We got guys that are chomping at the bit to get on, and that's a product, I think, of our numbers and our depth. But when you got guys that are chomping at the bit to get on special teams, they're going to go out and perform the best they can.
Well, it's great to see all three phases. When you're winning football and you're playing winning football week to week, special teams is a massive part of it. You've proven it, Coach. That group has been fantastic. Let's wrap up with some review on Liberty-Benton. Whole different animal coming into Liberty Center this week, into Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Kern Field, a 10-1 team, a very good-looking 6 seed. Spoke to some teams, some parents from those leagues down there. Columbus Grove person called me and said, listen, they're loaded, full of skill players. Liberty-Benton's forever always had good-looking receivers and quarterbacks and all these different things. You don't go 10-1 and handle their first-round business pretty easily against a common opponent. Talk about Liberty-Benton, the things you see that you think we're going to see on Friday night.
Well, they're going to be probably top to bottom the most talented team we've played.
Right.
Their skill guys are unbelievable. The one Elkert boy is committed to Toledo already as a junior. His twin brother is maybe just a notch below him. I'm sure he's getting some offers and is probably going to get more. That I would compare them to the Rubenstein kid from Napoleon with their athletic ability and their size and their build. Just very, very athletic, and you can't match that really. And then they've got other guys that are equally as maybe not as big and strong, but just as athletic. They've got a big offensive, defensive line, and they're very experienced. They're really a young team. They're very junior dominated, but I think we played them 2 years ago, and 4 of these juniors started as freshmen.
Wow.
And so they're experienced, and they are very, very good. This is not going to be a Utica game.
Right. Talk about, I know, again, we always talk about you always having although you do call the plays and you're an offensive coordinator, but your history and your DNA is in defense. What scares you the most? Is there a matchup? Is there a formation? Is there just a guy that you can't really put your hand on, like the quarterback? When you go in a game like this, you've seen film, you know what they're all about. What scares you the most as a defensive coordinator, defensive coach, you and Matt Bryan?
Big plays, chunk yardage plays, we would call, 15 to 20 yards or more. And they do a very good job of moving the one Elkert kid around. He'll play on the outside. He'll play in the slot. They'll line him up in the backfield. He'll be on the strong side. He'll be on the weak side, just everywhere. So you have to know where he is at all the time. And they get him the ball every way you can imagine. They're going to throw tunnel screens, bubbles. He's going to stretch you vertically down the field through a seam or a post. They'll get him outside on a fade. They'll run dig routes with him. So it's going to be tough to know where he's at all the time and stop him. And then they actually run the ball more than they throw. They spread you out, and they've got the other Elkert kid who's 6'3", 195 pounds, and great vision, very, very long, can stiff arm you, break tackles. And so they really are balanced and are going to make you defend the entire field vertically and horizontally.
Liberty-Benton 10-1, 6 seed, bringing some big-time athletes into Kip Kern Field, Rex Lindgren Stadium. And I'm sure we won't talk about our game plan. I think we want to put the old gloves on and get at them a little bit. But should be a very interesting matchup. Coach, we wish you a lot of luck. Next step in the playoffs. This is a big game Friday.
Thank you.
evening, Tiger Sports fans. Tonight, here on Tiger Sports Live, it's playoff round 2 football. The Liberty Center Tigers host the Liberty-Benton Eagles. I'm your host, Mark the Captain Bly, and on the call tonight, Jigs, Brian Babcock, Scott Barrett, and the one, the only, the man that only needs a single name, Spike. Get him.
Well, guys, a big one tonight, Liberty-Benton, Liberty Center. They've met a couple times in the last 10, 12 years. Liberty got them in 22 by a wide margin, but Liberty-Benton also beat Liberty. So Liberty Center's gotten Liberty-Benton here. Liberty-Benton beat them 14-9 in 2012. This Liberty-Benton football team looks really good for a 7-seed, Jigs and Spike. Currently, you got them ranked 7th in the region, but 13th overall, in the state of Ohio. That's pretty good for a 7th seed. This is a team that's scoring 41.5 points a game and only giving up 9.3. Spike, this is a big one tonight because I think we're going to be stressed in the passing game. The snipers, the defensive backs, the linebackers will see skilled guys they haven't seen all year, and an offensive and defensive line that are very sizable and athletic. This Liberty-Benton team is very good and, dare I say, a little underrated. So talk about what you've seen Liberty prepare for and some things you've seen out of Liberty this week as you've been at practice.
Well, I mean, basically, you've got two of the best cornerbacks in the area in Miller and Cam Collins.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys just do a terrific job, in their man-to-man defense, and they really match up well. So if anybody can defend Liberty-Benton's passing game, it's the Tigers. All week long, probably 2/3 of practice time was spent on defense. They have been gearing to the passing game. They've been gearing to stopping the quarterback, taking off. Containment. But they have really worked and worked and worked. Crime Brink can fire bombs downfield. They worked a lot on downfield defense. They worked on the underneath stuff. They covered every gamut, and I was amazed at just how good we looked against the primarily a passing game.
Well, I like to see you at practice because you're seeing what we're preparing for, how the kids respond to different kinds of offenses and jigs. We've got two great straight-up cover corners in Cam Colley and Grady Miller. They're straight-up legit. We've got really good snipers, but every one of those guys, including our linebackers, are going to be tested tonight. Liberty-Benton has two of the best offensive players individually that we're going to see maybe throughout the entire playoff. Seth Elkert, a 6'3", 185-pound wide receiver who's a Toledo commit, I believe, correct? The Division I commit as a junior.
Yep.
His brother, Zach Elkert, number 20, is more of a traditional running back, but also really good out of the backfield. So there are some of the best individual skilled athletes we're going to see, and they like to throw the ball with Trevin Lieb, a 6'2", 170-pound quarterback, and they've got other receivers. So talk about our defensive backs and talk about some of those challenges we're going to have tonight.
Yeah, it's not just a couple guys that they have out there. I mean, they go 4 or 5 wide, and every single one of these receivers can really stress you with their speed and their route running ability. So certainly the corners and the snipers are going to have to be ready to go tonight. It's going to be the underneath coverage. It's going to be staying over the top. They will throw a deep ball. Linebackers in your drop zones, and then obviously the defensive line pressure. I think that's going to be a key tonight.
Spike, we talk a lot about the trenches, and you always bring it back to the offensive line. That's where it starts. That's where it finishes for Liberty Center. This Liberty-Benton team averages 235 pounds on the offensive line and 240 pounds on the defensive line. They got some big dudes. I mean, this team looks physically a little bit like Patrick Henry, which gave us our biggest test of the year. But when I watch them play, I don't think they play quite like Liberty Center in terms of the physicality, how low we play, drive blocking. Liberty's offensive defensive lines are built just a little different.
Well, and it's all about technique and positioning. You take T. Lay and Max Walker.
Yes.
on the offensive line. And it all starts with Clayton Seal in the middle.
He's had a great year, by the way, Clayton.
And these three, none of these three guys are physical, huge 240-pound specimens, but I would put any of the three to be able to block anybody on their defensive line. And obviously our tackles are very skilled. You got Goose, you've got Weimer, you've got
Hunter Spangler.
Yeah, and Hunter Spangler, who plays every spot on the offensive line. And they are solid. I mean, this is great stuff. It is watching in practice. They run the offense, and it is perfection. It is execution to the nth degree. And the offensive line, they dominate. It is where every great team starts. I look at our offense like the Vince Lombardi days back in the 60s. And this guy was built on, they ran, 6 plays maybe slight variations. And they said, we're going to do it better than everybody else. That is what Casey preached all week. We are going to do it better. We're going to be bigger. We're going to play stronger. We're going to play faster. And we're going to be rugged.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Jigs. I mean, our entire offense is based in the running game.
Yep.
Most years it is. Some years we've been able to throw historically the Tim Myers, Scotty Overmeyer. We've had quarterbacks that could throw the ball down the field. Maybe the Tip Ladies, the Browns could do some of those things. You were a quarterback, like to run it more, but you could get it down the field. That's not really – this team is built more like a traditional Rex Lindgren team. Our offensive line has been phenomenal this year. And don't take anything away from Hammondtree. He's had a really good year blocking there. Noah's had an excellent year. And I think where we're getting a lot of productivity and blocking has been our wings.
Yep.
Talk about Jackson Bartels. Talk about Caden Sonnenberg. Talk about how we're blocking on the perimeter. I think those are going to be big in our explosive run game tonight.
Well, you see it about every single long run Liberty Center has. You got Cam Colley down blocking. You got Bartels blocking downfield, Hammondtree, all of those people we talk about. And a lot of these big runs wouldn't happen without this downfield blocking. And at times we'll see a hold, we'll see a block in the back or something, but those are the blocks that are springing these gigantic runs that we've been having from Thomas Moeller and Waylon Rentz and Garrison Cruz. And those guys are the same way. On these powers, they're leading the way. They're getting that first block, and then those guys on the edge are doing the rest.
Let's talk, and Spike mentioned, and I think it's important, and I wanted you to address it too. Our offensive line, not only outstanding, but there's some youth in there. I mean, you've gotten really good play by number 60, Kellen Weimer.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's been a great surprise. Nick Miller has talked a lot about him. He was inserted early, got reps, and then all of a sudden you started seeing a player that plays like a Brady Giesge, that plays like a Stephen Brogan. I mean, our offensive line from tee to green, from tight end to wing, pretty powerful. Talk a little bit about what you've seen in the offensive line, specifically at our tackle position this year.
Yeah, they just set the edge. I mean, that is the stone of the offensive line. It's where it starts. Edges, and then your guards are obviously you're pulling and you're getting out a little bit more. But man, they've been solid all year long, setting the edge. The power plays, we've seen the outside run be very effective for Liberty Center all year, and that's the tackles, right? Starting that edge, and then you got that wing back coming down to help. Been very impressed with Kellen Weimer, and I think he keeps getting better and better. And the Goose, you don't a lot of times want to notice the left tackle, right? I mean, you don't want him giving a guy getting a sack, and he just kind of does his job, and you don't notice him, and that's a good thing a lot of times.
Brady Giesge, Hunter Spangler have had great years. Spike.
Hey,
now,
and I'm remiss to not mention a Xander Zeider, blocker at tight end.
Yeah.
A lot of our offense revolves and emanates off of him because of the overload, the shift, the jet sweep, but a lot of that all starts with Xander Zeider, and I missed him totally on the offense.
He's like another tackle that you put in, but he moves a little bit better.
He does, and it's interesting you say that, Spike, because we're so used to him being such a dominant defender that he doesn't get nearly the credit for being a great edge blocker at tight end, and he is like a tackle.
And we haven't seen him all year because of his injury. That's been the last couple weeks here. He's been playing more and more and more, so that's something to watch here down the stretch.
Spike, we're healthy. Let's face it. I mean, obviously, we've had some longer-term injuries to roll guys. Ethan Gray, Baxter Barrett, those guys were valuable guys. Jackson, Lonazak, kids that are going to be really important to the program in the future. But we've gotten guys healthy. I know Max Walker's been dealing with some things, trying to get healthier. Stephen Brogan's been dealing with a little lower.
Stephen Brogan, another
great offensive
guard.
lineman.
Now tonight they're going to play him mainly on defense as a linebacker.
Well, and he is. We'll get to the defense in a second. He is an absolute missile on blitzes. But in terms of our offense and how we like to run the football so much, talk about our backs a little bit, Spike. Obviously, Waylon Rentz, the NWOAL Player of the Year. I think he shared that. He probably shouldn't have. He had great performances last week from Thomas Moeller, had a great performance. You're getting extreme production from Jackson Bartels. Wasion was a breakout game for him. And actually, you're getting a lot of production out of a guy like Tyler Roars, who has stepped into some roles when there's been some things going on. His opportunity, he's taken advantage of it. And how can you forget maybe the best athlete in the entire offensive group, Garrison Cruz. Talk about our backfield, some of the things you're seeing with that group.
You've got listen to these averages. Rentz, 12 a game, averaging 12 yards per carry. Miller, the quarterback, 11. Cruz, 10. Moeller, 9.5. Jackson Bartels, 11. Tyler Roars, 11 yards a carry. This is very reminiscent of last year's gaudy stats and the year before. And so the opponents don't matter because this is a new year and all these stats mean about so much. But our downfield blocking has been great. Garrison Cruz is a very valuable weapon. They run him in the jet a lot. He's averaging. He runs the ball well. He's the leading pass receiver.
Yes. Yep.
And they have this week. They even worked on that. And not a tight end over the middle like you see in a staple of a professional or a high gear college attack, but they're going to use maybe a little wing back.
Oh, yeah.
Hard down the line, over the middle, and that may help open it up, especially if you've got a wide out to either side, and they're going to change a little bit, a few more wrinkles. So the running backs, rugged, resilient, resolute. Rentz is
that's the 3 R's right there, big fella.
Buddy, yeah. 3 R's. Rentz is an animal.
He's an animal.
Yep.
He's an animal.
And Moeller follows his blocks. He's relentless. He's tough. He's a great lead blocker in some of this. And then they'll come out of the eye. Max Walker, the lead back out of the eye. What bigger goon would I want leading my running attack than Max Walker?
I got a question, and Max Walker's been a very great utility player at guard and at linebacker. I wanted to ask about Ronnie Weekers. It's Ronnie Weekers. Now his dad's Roger, or Ronnie Weekers was the running back in the 70s. Is that correct? Played with hip clots in like 76, 77.
Let me see.
Ronnie Weekers, because he was a big, strong fullback.
He was a younger brother to a guy in my class named John, who was a good football player, but didn't have the gaudy stuff that this Weekers did. Their dad played for Napoleon High School, and he was an all-star stud back in the day.
Ronnie Weekers reminds me a lot of Waylon Rentz. Just a big, physical, fast. Now, Ronnie didn't get a chance to play. That Weekers did not play in an era where we won a lot of games. That mid to late 70s, it got rough. But when I think it's Ronnie Weekers. I believe it's Ronnie. I saw some film on him. Jim Meekert would talk about him when I'd spend time with him. That reminds me of Waylon Rentz. Let's talk about our passing game, Jigs. Patrick Henry did a masterful job, and he's a Hall of Fame coach. We say it all the time. He did a masterful job defending our run, and we struggled in the passing game. This Liberty-Benton team is loaded in the back end. Their best athletes are back there waiting. They got good safeties. They got good-looking corners. Their linebackers are athletic. Talk about our passing game. It's not been something we've relied upon, but Spike's been right. It's been there at times when we need it. The deeper in the playoffs we go, we're going to need more.
Yeah, for sure. I think the key is letting the run set up the pass. And when you let the passing game come to Grady Miller and Kreinbrink, it looks a little bit better. Let's not force the pass, and let's get maybe a bad throw out of the way. It gets settled in, and then I feel like both of them, after about a possession, they settle in and look a little bit better, look a little bit more comfortable. And when you have weapons like we do, Garrison Cruz, Spike, you mentioned, out of that wing position, how many catches and long touchdown runs has he had as just a 15-yard route boom, and he can turn the corner and go. Blake Garber's looked good from the outside. Noah Hammondtree has been a weapon at the tight end. So we are very capable in the pass game. We haven't had to see it a lot, but I think it is there, and I think there's more to it when we have to have it.
I think when you looked at the Patrick Henry game, which I looked at a lot today, you saw very physical. They were very physical.
Yes.
I think that surprised us. I think Liberty-Benton has that kind of size that they don't fear Liberty Center in terms of their size. But I would say Liberty Center still has a tactical advantage in the run game. Do you have a sense that we might be able to exploit some additional weapons in the pass game? We've talked about Cam Colley.
Yeah.
We've talked about getting him the ball in the open field. We've talked about the explosive plays without the long throws. I think those wrinkles that Spike are talking about, you might start to see them as we get deeper in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, Cam Colley, we've seen every time he touches the football, he can go at any time, whether it's a kickoff, interception return, or punt return, right? So let's get Cam maybe a little screen, maybe a little bubble, and my guy's better than your guy, and let's go see what he can do. So that is a guy that we've not really seen in this offense, but very capable.
Spike,
well,
go ahead.
And in practice, they every day they will run a little bit. They'll save it toward the end. A 4-minute offense. We saw it at Patrick Henry in the fourth quarter. And a 2-minute offense. And they drill it and drill it and drill it. I mean, these guys are not going to be afraid to go to the air if need be, and maybe as a switcheroo in the flow during the game. But we are not past defunct. We are very capable.
We are not past defunct, so saith Spike Whitman. All right, let's turn the page to the defense. We talk so much about the offense. It's exciting to talk about, even though we're really traditional. We like to run the football in between the tackles. But Spike, we're only giving up 3.6 points a game. We're the number one scoring defense in all of Division 5. That's about 700 schools. We're ranked number 2 in the state of Ohio AP, and a lot of this is embedded in our defense. Talk about our defense a little bit.
Well, and this year, a lot of people said our league was weak, but Liberty-Benton, their league were all Division 7 schools. I think for the most part, maybe one other one was not, but when you. How was that again? What was I led into?
Yeah,
this
I think that was good. I think what I was asking you, because you're at practice all the time, and we get so focused on offense.
Right.
But really, if you look at how we're constructed, I think the strength of this team is Matt Bryan's defense. And I wanted you to kind of address the things you're seeing in practice on the defensive end and the things you've liked this last week out of Liberty Center.
Well, the players, for example, you can tell they're really hungry. The mood of the team went up. But yet they're loose. Defensively, they are attacking the ball. But it is not so much, you don't get the effect of the head-to-head hard scrimmage. It's more running, throwing bombs, throwing it 15 yards downfield, and everybody going over and over and over. This is your role. This is what you do. This is how you read that halfback. Where he goes, what direction, if he flows out, if he comes in. And we stress offensively and defensively both, reading the other team, being smarter than the other team, taking our cue from what they do, not just guessing, but we want to get there a half step quicker. And one way is how well that our defensive coaches, on the defensive side, of course, drum that into the guys and let them learn that, hey, when we see this, when we see that guard pull and goes whichever way, I mean, there's all these
the keys.
Yeah, the keys. Read the keys. And this is a fundamental part of Liberty's defense.
I wanted to go back and make sure I had it right because I knew I did. Ronnie Weekers played in the 75-76 seasons, and he was one bad dude. And it reminds me a lot of Waylon Rentz when I see Ronnie Weekers on film. I was corrected, and also you were right. You had Larry Weekers play. Larry was a bad dude, his father. So you got Ronnie Weekers, an old Liberty Center hammerhead, and you've got Waylon Rentz. Let's talk about the defensive line, Jigs. I think it's been phenomenal. We've missed the explosive players. We've missed maybe the big tackles for losses on straight-up wins. I mean, obviously, Landon Bachleman was the best player in Division 5 last year. You listen Seth Navarre. We've talked about them all season, but this line has played awesome complementary football. Xander Zeiter has had an all-league year.
Yep.
Brady Giesge has been fantastic. You're getting reps from Kellen Weimer. Hunter Spangler, when 100% healthy, is a dominant run stuffer. This defensive line has been awesome in the run game.
Yeah, and you mentioned the depth right there. Deegan Schweiger, Tyler Lay, Kyler Kern. I mean, they just continue
Kyler, what a great year Kyler's had.
Oh,
Wow.
They just continue to rotate, no drop off. And that's where it starts, right? I mean, the line of scrimmage, when you got a defensive lineman that can eat 2 blocks, he can eat 2 offensive linemen and let your linebackers flow. That is the key. And not only that, but how many tackles in the backfield have we seen for Xander Zeiter and Hunter Spangler the last couple weeks, and Kyler Kern getting more active back there. So the defensive line sets it up, they set the tone, and they let the linebackers flow, and they know how to do that.
Well,
Xander, let me throw this in. Xander Zeiter, from primarily playing that nose tackle.
Or tackle, right? Defensive end position.
Yeah, or sometimes a defensive end. But he plays like a Sam Huff middle linebacker type. This guy flows and goes. He's second on the team in tackles. Now this guy gets out and moves.
Yep.
Well, you talk about a defensive line from last year, and we talked about the 99 defensive line with Blake Lindgren, who played Division I at the Wake Forest. You talk about Schwab.
Moeller.
And Moeller was a great player
Jesse
in that
Miller.
team. Jesse Miller was a great – I mean, you're talking about a defensive – I see Blake, Schwab, and then you had Chris Box.
Oh, yeah, Boxford.
Like Chris Box, state champion wrestler. And his son, Lanier, came back, played a little bit later, but Chris Box in that 99 team, underrated zero technique nose guard. This defensive line, at least specifically against the run, again, I go back to it, we're winning games 43-3, essentially in scoring on averages. The defensive line's been dominant, and the linebackers then. That's been the best room we've had all year. The levels we talk about, I think those snipers are kind of hybrid linebackers, but talk about the year Stephen Brogan's had.
Oh, man.
Talk about the year Waylon Rentz had. He could have been the defensive player of the year.
100%.
And then Max Walker has been fantastic. Now that Jackson's been hurt, those guys have been great. And then Tyler Lay, you keep reminding me.
Garrison
Cruz is like a guy you could stand up and put his hand in the ground. Talk about the linebacker group.
Yeah, well, they're so fun to watch. Probably the funnest on this team if I'd have to pick a group.
Did you just say funnest?
Yeah,
how about most
the
enjoyable?
most fun, excuse me.
You have a college degree.
Yeah, sorry.
Funnest.
Let's get that corrected. But man, oh man, Stephen Brogan, he just brings it every single game, and he's in there, and he's maybe not the biggest guy, but everything he's got every single week, and man, he is nasty from that blitzing linebacker position. He's constantly in the backfield creating havoc. Waylon Rentz is one of the best readers of a play that I've seen.
That is Eric Weimer and Brian Hefflinger, like you talk.
Key
reading, technique,
reminds me
linebacker
very
meetings.
much of the Cruz brothers, right? I mean, that's how they were last year. Just diagnosis of a play, be able to get there before it
Colton
starts.
and Trenton were phenomenal players.
Tyler Lay we talk about him every single week, just his physicality and the way that he just brings energy every single time. And then Garrison Cruz, he's the chess piece. Garrison Cruz, you can bring him off the edge. You can rush him.
He's the TJ Watt.
He is. And you can jump up and he can knock a play down, but he can also get pressure. So it has been a very impressive group, very fun to watch.
Historically, have there been two tougher guys? I think of Joel Zimmerman in 1988. Of course I do. That's when I played. But is there any two tougher guys than number 51 Tyler Lay, number 63 Stephen Brogan? There might be tougher guys out there, but I don't see them a lot. These two players are animals.
They are.
They are absolute animals, and you love them on special teams because tackles are secondary.
Yep.
They're looking for someone to hit and blow up. You get rewarded for breaking down walls in the special teams, and Brian Hefflinger has talked a lot about that. Do you see guys like that on the field much, those two guys?
No. They play with a nasty streak that takes it back to the 90s and 80s. That's the type of player that these two – and no offense to today's college or high school football, but it's going away from that a little bit. So when you see a player with that plays like Tyler Lay and Stephen Brogan, you're like, that guy looks a little bit different. I'm not used to seeing that guy every single week.
And that's where the special teams comes into play. And let's wrap up our pregame against this great Liberty-Benton team. I like Liberty-Benton's field goal kicker. He reminds me of Ian Rosebrook, Spike Whitman. But talk about our special teams. Brian Hefflinger has just brought another level of concentration, viciousness, These guys have played at another level. I think it's the hidden strength of our team. Yeah. I love our defensive line, our offensive line, but I think special teams has really stood out, all phases of special teams.
You know, especially the kickoff team, which we've had plenty of opportunities to use this year. But they fill the lanes as well as any Liberty Center team I can ever remember. And the coaches are hungry for more. I mean, they still drill in the films, you know, about filling the lanes even better than they do. They lament because they've lost a couple of great players off the special teams. And of course, this covers everything, all the different special teams. But I have never seen coverage like this before. We have held them inside the 20-yard line 90% of the time.
Yep.
Let's before we wrap up our pregame, let's give Liberty-Benton a little bit more of a study. We've talked about their top-tier offensive players, and that's really easy. You know, Seth Elkert, 6'3", 185. We talked about him being a phenomenal number one option in the run game and in the throw game. The running back, the twin brother, Zach Elkert, he's fantastic. Great vision, uses his blockers, a lot like a Thomas Moeller does. He really reads the cuts and blocks, very high IQ. The quarterback, I really like when I watch him. He's not the most dynamic guy, but a good decision maker. He has thrown for 1,920. Actually, he's 125 for 179 for 1,826 yards and 22 touchdowns. They're an explosive offense both in the run game and the pass game. Talk about their quarterback and the things that he can do for Liberty-Benton tonight.
The key is he throws on the run as well as he does in the pocket. Now, he won't look to run that much.
But he can throw outside the pocket.
He can. He is very accurate on the run. They will look to sprint him out and get, you know, some of these speed routes outside to kind of outnumber you in the defensive backfield. And he'll throw some 50-50 balls because he knows his receivers are 6'2", 6'3". He's got 2 or 3 guys that can go get it on the outside. He's not afraid to throw 50-50 balls. But yet he doesn't have that many interceptions. I think it's 4 interceptions all year. So he does take care of the football.
Right.
Manages that offense well, and he's got a really nice arm.
Talk about a guy that I've watched a lot, and we're going to get to you, Spike, in a minute. We're going to talk about their defense. Braden Lemire, number 18, a 6'2", 195-pound senior in the slot. I've seen him make some great catches all season long. I think he's a dangerous guy because you've got guys on the outside, a number of offensive players. You've listed additional players. The guys that really stood out to me on film, and this number 18, Braden Lemire, he is a phenomenal player in terms of the way he catches, his height. Again, these receivers and skilled guys, Jigs, are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and those create all kinds of mismatches for us physically.
Yeah, there's going to be some height advantages potentially on that outside here tonight, and that goes back to that 50-50 ball that we're talking about. This quarterback he's got a good touch to where he puts balls in play for just his receiver, to where the defender can't get there because typically they do have a height advantage, and they have the ability to go get the football.
Defensively, Liberty-Benton is underrated. We talked about that a little bit in the pregame, but they're giving up less than 10 points a game right now. Liberty-Benton is scoring 39.3, giving up 5.3. That's impressive. They're ranked 13th in the AP, so their defense is really underrated because they flash so much on offense. But, Spike, let's talk about culture. Liberty-Benton has been to the playoffs. They've got a good playoff record as an organization, 23-16. Scott Garlock, who is kind of an understudy of the legendary Cliff Height, who coached at Findlay. Garlock is 72-12 in his 9th season. Garlock's won back-to-back Blanchard Valley Conference championships. This team is playoff tested. They play Columbus Grove. They know what they're up against. Garlock's got these guys going. Talk about the culture of winning playoffs and championships.
Well, let's don't even hold it just to football, but Liberty-Benton is one of those schools like an Eastwood who is always in the hunt. An Archibald who is almost always in the hunt. A Patrick Henry who's always in the hunt. And you can pick out several more in the area, but the atmosphere of athletics at Liberty-Benton is something special, and you can never take a team from there lightly, ever. I mean, that's simple.
All right, guys, we're going to go down to the field mic here for the national anthem, and we're about to get underway.
live in a country with freedoms like no other. To honor our great nation, please remain standing. Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your hats and please sing along as we play our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, we're back here once again from Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field. It's round 2 of the OHSAA 2024 playoffs. And that moment is about to come here, Spike Whitman. One of your favorites.
Here they come, those swashbuckling men in black, the Liberty Center Tigers, led onto the field by none other than T-Lay Jackson Bartels. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, I love it when they come through there. This team, I'm telling you, this week, you could tell it leveled up. They're hungry, but they were loose. But the attitude is ready. They have risen and risen and risen, and now they are understanding what it takes to peak. You feel it in practice.
One of the things I like about what Spike just said, Brian, is that Casey Moeller's all business. He's not robotic, but he's one level above a robot, meaning he is all about getting to practice. He's very organized. His staff is a veteran staff. They either all played here, played together, played an era. There's only a couple guys that haven't been in this program, and heck, they've coached for 20 years. Matt Bryan, our defensive coordinator, who's done a phenomenal job, and Chris Riggy, who's been in the community for 30-plus years. Talk about the stability of this coaching staff and the fact that, yes, there's excitement and, yes, there's intensity, but there's a lot of high IQ, intellectual planning, and the way they operate this corporate football at Liberty Center.
Yeah, I think it's just become an expectation now for this football program, and it's an expectation on down from Coach Moeller. He has kind of set the stage for this program. The assistant coaches understand what the role is, what their jobs are, and they do it very well. And we've talked about how good this staff is, and this is one of the better staffs in the state from across the board. And it's homegrown guys that care about the program. They give their time and time away from their families, and it's just a huge commitment. But, man, what an impact it makes.
Spike, I talked to Casey about this, and he wanted to coach Liberty Center and didn't want to coach. You talk to Nick Miller, I want to coach Liberty Center. Ryan Miller, I want to coach Eric Weimer. These guys are coaching here or nowhere. This is a homegrown, rooted, cultural staff that once their run is over, they don't go to Swanton. They're not going to Cleveland. They're not going to Maumee. They'll retire as Liberty Center guys. There's a lot to be said for being a Liberty Center Tiger.
Oh, absolutely. This is the pit. This is the black hole. What a great setting. This is Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Kern Field. Liberty Center plays Kip Kern type of football. In a quick talk I had with Johnny Fryman, he had made one point. He said, Spike, the question here is, can Liberty-Benton match the LC physicality?
We're going to get a chance to see that right now on Liberty Center's kickoff coverage, so here we go.
End over end, and that's 4 yards deep into the end zone. They'll take it there, and the ball out to the 20-yard line. Was that Walker?
That was Max Walker.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Walker and T-Lay, and also Rosebrook. They're averaging 3 yards deep in the end zone.
Well, Max Walker is a weapon unto himself, and he is. I told this to Jiggs in our podcast this week. I think he won the Arch Bowl game here a few years ago, just the way he kicked it. It's flipped fields, and he was amazing.
All right. They come out with a wide out to either side, man in the slot with a single setback. Quarterback out of the gun. Sets to throw the home run ball, and that's going to be way overthrown. Liberty Center coverage was terrific.
Grady Miller, a shutdown corner, just will match their top athlete all night long, number 10, Seth Elkert, and that was a matchup that Grady won right there.
Yeah, he's been following their best player every single week. You've seen it against Rubenstein. You've seen him against Smith, Wasion.
He shut down Rubenstein from Napoleon.
So I think you're going to see him following number 10 all night.
All right, Zeider in there at the nose guard. Spangler, one of the tackles. Same set. Now they're going to hand it right up the middle, and he'll plow forward for about 4 yards up the middle. There was just a little bit of a seam, but the Tiger linebackers closed fast.
Yeah, Kellen Weimer again on that stop. He gets off his block and makes that tackle, and for a short yardage gain, and we talked about him. He's been an excellent addition to that defensive line. He's been great on the offensive line, but Kellen Weimer's been great on defense as well.
Yeah, he's got such good length. He's such a big guy, can really extend those arms. He does a good job in the defensive end position.
All right, now trip receivers to this wide side of the field. Ball in the middle of the field. Quarterback by himself with 2 wideouts to the far side. Looks, throws, and that's going to be caught, and that's going to be a first down out there and along the sidelines. Pick up a 7.
Well, they look a lot like what you see at Patrick Henry and Bill Insom in timing patterns, stops, dig routes. They'll throw a lot of those balls that are timing. And, we talked about the quarterback. He's been great all year long at this offense, very efficient. Trevin Lieb, excellent throw for the first down.
All right, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. So that deep kickoff just makes them earn an extra first down just to get back to regular positioning. Out of the gun, give. Up the middle, there's the seam, still on his feet, pounds forward, 12-yard gain. Liberty-Benton with a rushing first down up to the 44.
Zach Elkert, excellent job. Patient runner.
Yeah.
He's got good speed, Brian, but did a good job reading his blocks, and you saw that next level speed or that jolt for the big yards.
Okay, on from their own 44, 1st and 10. 5 wideouts. The quarterback out of the gun. Now motion back this way. He'll fake motion. He does.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Man. And Liberty Center over that swarms to the tackle. That's going to be no gain.
That wing kind of sweep to number 10, their top athlete, Seth Elkert, has been in the game plan. We've been locking down. That was number 19, Waylon Rentz, all over it. Here comes the replay. Watch 19, inside out.
Think that guy's been watching film?
Yes, sir. Good tackle. Tackle for loss.
That was one of the very things they covered in practice a lot, that jet sweep and
Big
how
play.
To read. All right, that makes it 2nd down and 10. Benton from their own 44. Wing set to the left. Single setback. Quarterback rolling to his left, has time, fires out there, and that's going to be, I can't tell if it was caught or not.
It was not caught.
No, it was not caught.
I think that was Braden Lemire was the intended receiver over there, big physical senior. And again, not a bad throw. I thought Trevin put that ball right on his hands, Jigs.
That's what we're seeing with this route tree. It's pretty advanced. They have a lot of different routes that you're going to see. They flooded the zone there with their 2 best receivers. It's a good-looking pass, just couldn't quite haul it in.
All right, so 3rd and 10, more or less behind the chains. They need 10 here. 5 wideouts. Quarterback throws it quick, fires way overthrown, incomplete. Grady Miller all over the intended receiver. It would have been short, and so now that brings up 4th down. The Liberty defense stiffened up, tightened the cinch.
I think Casey and Matt decided to cover there.
Yeah.
No blitz, let the 4 down linemen go to work. Good job by the secondary. They knew where the sticks were. Great job on that defensive series.
You're starting to see the secondary kind of get up to speed, kind of get used to some things here and kind of tighten down there late in that possession.
Back at their 20-yard line, JT Okrew. And
here we go.
The snap over his head. Here come a couple of the Tigers. He actually goes down on a knee, and that'll be where the play is blown dead. Liberty Center's going to have the ball on the 16-yard line of the Liberty-Benton Eagles.
Garrett Nelius is their kicker. Bad snap. Here comes the replay, and just a snap he couldn't handle, and Liberty was right on top of it. And we saw this against Columbus Grove a little bit. You know, they scored on an explosive play early and then started turning the rock over, and Columbus Grove ran them down.
This is one thing this is one thing Liberty-Benton cannot do. Cannot give Liberty Center a short field because they know what to do with it typically here all year.
All right, you've got Miller under center. Unbalanced line to the left. They're going to run a power sweep that way. Give to Reds. Bang it through one. Bangs down to the 15-yard line.
Number 20, Zach Elkert. Really good running back, but might be a better linebacker, athletic tackler.
No, he is. He really flows on defense. You're going to see him a lot tonight, making a lot of tackles, and his brother, number 10, is a safety as well. But they got some good-looking players here on defense, Liberty-Benton does.
So the Tigers send Cam Colley spread wide to the far side.
5-man front.
We've got a full backfield. Set to the right. Give to the third back. That's Cruz. Cruz pounding forward. Driving down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Gain of 7, and it's going to be third and very short.
Jags Liberty, a little variation. Not seeing the wing T here. Seeing kind of a power I, 2 fullbacks. Guy sit behind in the tail and just run it behind big blocks. I think that's a foreshadowing or Casey thinks he can move the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they got looks like Liberty-Benton's going with a 5-man front here. They typically go a 4, so a little bit of a change here.
Xander Zeider, the tight end on the left. Tigers in that solid I. Give to the third back, pounding forward, twisting, spinning, and inside down to about the 8-yard line. This is going to bring up fourth and very short.
Maddox, Vermillion, you know, from the defensive line position. That's how Liberty-Benton is going to be able to stop and get Liberty off schedule, is getting some tackles for loss, penetration, and getting through that line of scrimmage before Liberty gets on top of them.
Yeah, and blitzing. Right. I think blitzing is going to be a key tonight from linebackers.
A run blitz. Yes. A run blitz, right.
Here we go.
The Tigers break the huddle. They come to the line of scrimmage. Zeider, the tight end on the right. 2 tight ends set straight out of the eye. They're going to give it to the third back. He's hitting the backfield. Wow, they knifed through there and nailed Liberty Center in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 3, and Liberty-Benton takes over.
That's number 57. He is the guy that we've talked about. Yes. I think that is C.J. Barbera.
He can yell, I can yell.
I think that is it. Another really good play for Liberty-Benton. Again,
looked like he come unblocked there, Barbera.
Yeah.
Scott, you mentioned him a lot. I think he's got double-digit sacks this year. He's a really active player for the defensive line position. Good play there.
He is their top defender, and he really has shown up here.
All right, so Liberty-Benton, 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. They're going to run a little zigzag up the middle, and he stopped right away. No gain on the play. Maybe a yard loss. The Tigers knife in.
Yeah, Stephen Brogan and the linebacking core working off some of those blocks the defensive line is eating, and I just don't see a lot of inside run opportunities for Liberty-Benton tonight.
Kellen Weimer in there as well. He's been very active from that defensive end position so far.
By the way, Spike, really quick, number 57, C.J. Barbera made those plays on defense, and he is a phenomenal defensive end and defensive tackle right off the snap to stop Liberty on 4th and 1.
Well, it's a learning curve, and Liberty Center will just have to log that away and gain a little expertise later. All right, 2nd down and 11. Out of the gun. Drops back to throw. Fires the home run ball. And
caught it. He caught it.
Caught that ball. What a catch. Wow, out at the 35-yard line, a gain of 25 yards. That's what you were talking about earlier, Scott.
Connor Barbera, number 2, a sophomore, the brother of their great defensive lineman. He made a great play on that. I thought Cammy was all over him, but
that's great coverage.
A little hand fighting and good space.
Yeah,
good catch.
Great coverage, better throw to kind of throw him open that time.
All right, wing left set, single setback with 3 wideouts. Liberty Center shows the 4-man line. They're going to run a pitch.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There's that guy,
Stephen Brogan.
I believe Brogan nailed him. He read the play and blasted him for a 7-yard loss.
You're going to start seeing a narrative here that the run game is not going to generate a whole lot, and then you're going to start seeing them throw the football both vertically and inside the hashes. Here comes the replay. Watch Brogan, top of your screen, on a run blitz. Beats his man, number 15, Austin Collard, like a dog and gets him for a big TFL. Great job, Stephen Brogan.
All right. You've talked about it all year long, being forced to play behind the chains. So Liberty-Benton looking at a 2nd and 16 from their own 30-yard line. Double wide out to this side with a single setback. Rolling left, looking upfield, fires
Oh, yeah,
high.
Cammy.
And it appears to be caught on the sideline down there about the 38.
Reed Irwin, another receiver. As much depth as
Yep.
we have, on defense in that linebacker room. They've got a ton of depth in pass catchers. Good throw again. Been very impressed with Trevin Leib's accuracy as he moves out of the pocket.
Yeah, our corners are playing really good ball. I mean, Cammy is all over that route. He's all over that ball early. It's just better throws so far, but I think this defensive backfield will get tightened up here.
Okay, 3rd down and 7 for Benton from their own 39. Again, out of the gun with 4 wideouts. Rolling this way, looks, throws underneath. That's going to be caught at the 40-yard line. Liberty
Nice
Center
play.
there to hold him in. A gain of only a couple, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Cam Colley, Garrison Cruz close on that throw to force 4th down. You're right. They're on top of these receivers. Spike, you talked about it this week. A lot of pressure. It's another replay. Great job. Watch 7. Cam Colley break on this route. And you got inside-out penetration. You got great job by Garrison Cruz. Great tackle. Great defense, Liberty Center. Garrison Cruz.
Yeah. All right. They get the punt. High floater. And no, it's short. Hits it around the 30. It'll take another 5-yard roll in favor of the Benton Eagles. But the ball now will be down, I believe, down at the 24-yard line.
And Spike,
So,
you talked about it.
37-yard punt.
You talked about in the pregame the preparation, the tackling drills, the coaching staff getting these guys ready for Liberty-Benton's throw game has shown up so far, and putting those things in the bank and remembering those routes. They've done a great job of that.
So what if we stalled out there? They made a couple big plays.
For sure.
How well are they going to be able to do that against our standard stuff? All right, double wing package, motion this way. They're going to give it a jet sweep coming around the outside. Kicks there, makes a great move. That's Moeller, spins his way up across the 30-yard line. Gain of 6 for the Tigers. Gain of 7.
Off tackle power, couple lead blockers, Jigs. Back to Liberty Center, wing T football. Casey likes to mix it up formationally early, give them a little different look. Great penetration on that last drive and 4th down, Liberty Benton, but Liberty back to the wing T.
All right, Liberty Center comes out with a tight formation. Gives us no play action. Miller has time, dumps it out in the flats. That's caught. And a good defensive play there. Tigers lost a yard on that play. It'll bring up 3rd down and probably 4.
I like the route. Carson Griffin, great open field tackle, but the short passing game, get Grady some rhythm and some confidence. I like it. 3rd and 4, within range of making this 1st down, Jigs.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Tigers now spread out Colley and Garber wide to this side. Now they shift over to a power formation to the left. They're going to run sweep that way. Breaks one, skips through another, pounds one. Wrench takes on a tackler, rams him over the top, and battles his way up to the 38-yard line. That's a Tiger 1st down.
Number 51, Tyler Lay, getting some there. Little post-snap enjoyment. Tyler, great block on their good linebacker. Let's watch Waylon Rentz here. Garrison Cruz kick out. Great job, Tyler Lay, and then Waylon Rentz does the rest. Knows how to finish a run, doesn't he, Jigs?
Yes, he does. Boom Boom is all over these replays so far.
I love the
great
replays,
work.
Boom Boom. Keep them coming. Good plays, replay them. Good job.
All right, now the Tigers shift around. We've got a tight end left, wide out to the far side. Give the quick dive right up the middle, and good for about 5 more.
Not giving Liberty-Benton time to blitz linebackers and move a front and get gaps. I like that vertical running game, quick hitter. Liberty Center starting to look more off tackle, quick hitter.
Good job on 1st down. You take 4 on a dive like that. You got to like that to start you off here on this.
Okay, Garber and Colley spread out wide to the Liberty-Benton side of the field. We got a wing left set with a single setback. Miller out of the gun. Now a reverse. Garrison breaks a tackle.
There we go.
Let him get started.
That'll be an adios amigos.
You ain't going to get him. Baby Gates
Yes,
is
sir.
the Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Boy, Garrison. You give Garrison Cruz a 1/4 of an inch. He ran through the initial tackle, Jigs, and then gear number 3.
Yeah.
That's like a jungle light speed.
Yeah, you saw who was chasing number 20 and number 10. Their 2 best athletes, and
couldn't get him.
That guy's pretty good.
Garrison Cruz is one of the top runners I've seen ever in the way he regains his balance after being jostled and jived and rocked and socked. Here's the kick. It's up. And Fitzenreiter to crime break to Ian Rosebrock. Pounds it through. Ian again good. That squad now is 65 out of 66. That's not even phenomenal. Any pro, any college kicker would beg to have that kind of a staff.
Great job, Boom Boom, on the replay. That play was made by number 50, Max Walker. He came out and kicked out that end. The end got a hand on Garrison's foot, but as Spike talked about it, Garrison Cruz is a great combination of power and explosive speed. He got jostled, as Spike said, and then exploded for a big explosive run there.
He doesn't need much room. And once about third step, he's at top speed, and he's gone. And that's exactly what you saw in that play.
Great job by Boom Boom on the replay. Max Walker gets an assist on that touchdown. Again, the offensive line doing some good work up front.
That's that inside reverse, man. That's such a good play when that thing goes how it's supposed to go. It is a thing of beauty. Here we go, Spike. See if we can't pin him down here again inside the 20 and get a stop, get the ball back at the 50, and let's do it again here.
All right, T-Lay and Smith. Inside people, they're deadly on this special teams. That comes down, taken there at the 5. Return straight ahead. Zips past one, slides, and Liberty Center holds him to the 23-yard line. A successful kickoff coverage by the Tigers.
You know, it's that front line that's looking to break down the blockers. Deacon Swigert, just basically looking to drill people.
There's no stopping the speed. There's no breaking down. Somebody's going to get hit or he's going to go flying, one or the other, and he went flying that time. But there was almost a big-time explosion.
Brian Hefflinger calls it something engaged and not engaged. He's got something like a DEFCON call or something. Somebody's getting some DEFCON calls tonight.
Zyder, Spangler, and Weimer, the defensive line, to give to the second back around that other side. He'll jimmy around for a yard or two, but the Tigers stepping right up right there. Not much. Well, they're going to give him a
couple yards. Spangler.
A couple of yards.
Hunter Spangler again. We talked about it, Jags. You want to run inside. You got Hunter Spangler. You got Xander Zyder. You got Kyler Kern. You got Goose Giesecke. I mean, there's bodies and they're fresh and deep.
Yep. Well, they just continue to rotate. I mean, Kellen Weimer started this game. Now you got Kyler Kern in there, and they're just going to continue to rotate, stay fresh.
All right. Benton comes out with a wide out to either side. Receiver in the slot with 2 cover people.
Yeah, he moved.
Yep, and movement, I believe the running backs took a step. So that's another mistake by Liberty-Benton. The bad snap didn't hurt him, but the 5-yard walk-off never helps. Now they're behind the chains, 2nd down and 12.
Good call, Spike. Behind the chains. Off schedules where Liberty wants to get them. That playbook gets thinner and thinner the more yards you have to go to move the chains.
I've been really impressed with Liberty-Benton's just play calling so far. I feel like they're really balanced, very spread, and they got some really nice routes that are tough to guard from the secondary.
All right, same offensive set, double wide out to the far side. Twin protectors, back to throw. They're going to throw one-on-one home run ball, and that's going to be overthrown. A super job by Cam Colley, running step by step with him and actually boxed him out.
I mean, Cam Colley, he is just technician on that route, and he got into that receiver and kind of bumped him to the sidelines and just kind of beat him. Beat him.
That's how you teach it, man. You get on that hip, you get on top, then you end up running the route for the receiver. And both these guys have been so good on these deep balls. I mean, have we seen a deep ball over the top get beat all year? We haven't.
Tonight was the first night we saw.
But that wasn't even get beat. That was just a great catch.
Yep.
All right, Liberty up 7-0. 1:19 left in the first quarter. 3rd down and 12 from back at their own 21. Drops back to throw. Throws that little dump out there, and that's going to be stopped right away. Who made that first hit?
Stephen Brogan. Little after the whistle hit. Grady did a great job of getting him to the ground, but then, Stephen Brogan and Casey Moeller are not happy. We've had problems with penalties we've had problems with 15-yard penalties, and there's one for Stephen Brogan, and he might come out and get a little.
I think Stevie he had a hard time stopping the momentum there. Worked really hard to get to that play, just couldn't quite hold off.
Man, oh man, not where you want to be. Eric Weimer not happy with his senior, and you don't need to give Liberty-Benton any help. They got plenty of athletes to get their own 15 yards, but this is something that's been a problem for Liberty all year long.
But with the personality of the Liberty Center Tiger squad, I'm afraid it's
part of the game.
It is.
We
You're
want
going
them
to get a couple.
Yeah.
Now let's just stop it. All right. Trip receivers to the wide side. Tries to throw the quick out. That's going to be overthrown, incomplete. Colley coming up. You know, Cam Colley is a kid. He's smiling all the time, laughing in practice, but he is vicious. He is a headhunter. That kid is a great tackler in the open field.
Kind of like a honey badger. You talked about him. He likes to hit. He's fast. He's got a nose for the football.
I'm telling you right now, just by the end of the night, I think he's going to get his hands on the ball too.
You always say every game.
Well, guess what? It just about happens every game.
Cam Colley is phenomenal.
Okay, 2nd down and 10. Of course, a spread formation. Man in the slot and a wide out to the far side. Wide out here. Motion this way. They're going to give it on a little Z to the running back, and he'll pick up maybe 2, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
Hunter Spangler gumming stuff up. Linebackers flying in there. Great job. Even Garber from his sniper position. Liberty's defense swarm. They get a lot of hats on the inside run. They get a lot of space-eating tacklers on the outside run. Liberty's got it all covered in the run game.
Starting to see the limitation in the run game now. So, what does Liberty-Benton do? You go more pass. When this defense starts to sniff out that you're pass, that's when the turnovers start happening.
All right, Kellen Weimer in there now as a defensive end over on the far side. Trip receivers over there, double over here. Quarterback by himself in the backfield. Drops back 3 steps, looks, throws the long ball, and
great
incomplete. What a play there on the defensive end of it from Liberty coming across.
That was Thomas Moeller from his rover spot, your old spot. But it wasn't just Thomas Moeller. Watch the replay. You're going to see Blake Garber was right on time as well. Liberty all over these routes.
That route up. That's fantastic.
Oh, man, good read. Blake Garber there trailing. An excellent job by the junior Thomas Moeller. But Blake had it as well. Liberty doing a great job on these routes. You're right. There was some sophisticated routes being run.
Yep.
Liberty had it covered.
All right, 4th down and 9.
Oh, another back snap. My goodness.
Picked up there at the 12-yard line, gets it off with his left foot.
Wow.
And the ball takes a backwards hop, so we're going to wind up back at the line of scrimmage. But from where Liberty-Benton was, that was a great save in a manner of speaking.
Wow, Liberty-Benton, everybody has their problems. There's some scores here.
Look at Oak Harbor
in Division 18. Oak Harbor is sitting there waiting. Patrick Henry over Carey. That's a good ball game. And back to Liberty-Benton, though. Liberty-Benton, Spike, struggling with that snap. And that, you're going to get interceptions. You might get a fumble. You're going to get some bad penalties. But when you got bad snaps, you got a couple of them, that's tough.
Well, they preached it this week. Exert your will. Push your will. Make it happen. And if the center is shook up,
get him.
Tiger Sports Live would like to thank its 2024-25 title sponsors: KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Swanton Welding, P's and Ello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, and the Gerald Grain Centers. We appreciate you guys. They support us, so please support them.
Using your will, whatever it takes to dominate the other guy. It might not even be physical, but two bad snaps. Now, is that intimidation? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not down there in the middle of it, but.
Well, it's a big stage, and we've all been on it. The deeper the playoffs you go, you're playing the number 2 team in the AP, and, Liberty's got a reputation of being physical. That might play into the head of the long snapper, because Liberty will hit you in the mouth.
Yep.
All right, you got Goose as a tackle on this side, now moving over there, tight end on the right. Kreinbrink out there, out of the gun. Kreinbrink drops, throws it out the flash. That's tipped, but still caught. Now weaves his way past one, pounds forward for 5 yards. on that dump behind the line of scrimmage. Crimebrink had enough on it to get through that block.
But it was tipped a little bit, but I like the play call. Getting Cam Crew the football horizontally where there's no bodies and a lot of space. Cam Crew can be an explosive player in space. Cam Colley. Sorry about that.
All right, so gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Tigers show a wide out to this far side. Double wing package. Motion this way. They're going to give it straight up the middle of the guy. Pounding there. Kicking it on the block downfield. One man to beat. And Rentz powers his way down to the 15-yard line. What downfield blocking.
Tell you what, Cam Colley on that play before. Now you get Waylon Rentz. Again, the guy that saves the day is C.J. Barbera. Here comes a replay. Gets to level 1. Good cuts. Sees the field. Really good blocking.
Weimer.
Is that Kellen Weimer?
It was.
Excellent.
Boy, he
excellent
that
key
thing.
block.
All right, now Garber spread wide to the far side. Tigers double wing package. Miller under center with Rentz a single setback. Motion left. Give Rentz hit right away. They read that play. Kind of a stunt in fact and no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down from the 15-yard line.
You know, Liberty-Benton has some size. That was number 78, William Granger, a 6'3", 265-pound junior. You know, he won his block there, Spike, and made a play. That's important for Liberty-Benton to try to get some stops in Liberty's run game.
And they have to because Liberty is going to keep pounding it right at them, and then they're going to beat them outside on a quickie. All right, Colley spread out wide to the far side. Power I in the backfield. They're going to give it. Sweep to Cruz. Cruz leaps over
nice
one.
Cut.
Cuts to the outside. Heading down the sideline. He's into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
I'll tell you what, again, it looks like Kellen Weimer was a big part of the formula to make that work. I'm sure that Boom Boom will give us a replay, but Liberty Center, great job off tackle, and you know, that was Harrison Cruz just making it work, seeing the field. And it looks like the left side of the offensive line was fantastic.
He had a little hurdle there, and then he did the rest. Man, that was a nice hole.
Wow, what an explosive run. Another fine execution. That is what Liberty Center football is all about. That may have been a point after touchdown kick, but execution in practice. Casey. Darn it, run it again.
Yeah, it's really good.
Darn it,
Run
it again.
Here comes the replay. Watch Kellen Weimer, great reach block. Excellent job by
Max
Thomas
Walker.
Moeller and Max Walker.
And
man,
then Cam Colley, man.
that was
great.
4 fantastic blocks on the left side. Nick Miller's going to be thrilled with his offensive line, but I'll tell you, that was a good block by Thomas Moeller.
Yes.
I don't
and
know
Cam
which
Colley
one was
from the outside. No.
I don't know which one was the best block, but they were 4 A-plus blocks there. I haven't started the campaign yet, but I'm starting to get a feel. But love that run by Waylon Rentz. I love that run by Garrison Cruz. The running game so far on that drive, fantastic. And the Cam Colley in the slot, Cam Colley, and so that's some good stuff, Brian.
Yeah, this offensive line and the blocking at every single level is so impressive. I mean, you have the wings, you got the split guy, you got the guards, you got the tackles, just all working together, and it is a thing of beauty. And that's when you see these big holes, when guys are executing their individual blocks. That's what you saw in that play.
By the way, the Stephen Brogan 15-yard penalty that did not hurt Liberty Center. They go up 14-0,
Right.
and Eric Weimer had a good coaching moment down there. No one lost their cool. Just keep coaching.
All right, Max Walker to kick off from the 40-yard line. Standing back deep at their 5. High end
Got a
over in.
chance
That's
here.
going to come up short to the 15. Return straight ahead. And Tigers meet him there at the 30. Snow him under. And that's where Liberty-Benton will take over their 4th series of the game.
Tyler Lay with a good tackle. You know, we talk about the hitting and some of that football violence, but the tackling
it's great
is
tackle right there.
fantastic,
Yep.
Spike. They get the guys to the ground. They wrap up. They're very sure tacklers.
You know,
Liberty does a great job on the open field.
This has been a fine season for wrapping up.
Yes.
Maybe one of the best ever. All right, so Benton comes out with a double wide out to this side, a single protector. He'll roll, throws it out underneath, caught at the 33, breaks a
nice
tackle.
hit there by
but
Garber.
they're double teamed there by Garber and Cruz. Hard hitting on Bartels.
And on film, I like number 18, Braden Lemire. I just think he's physical. He runs good routes. He has outstanding hands. And you saw a good collision there. Liberty-Benton's receivers are physical. They can be very physical.
They are.
All right, Liberty-Benton in business now. They're up to their own 42-yard line with a 1st and 10. This game can never be over because the quick strike ability of Liberty-Benton has going to keep them in the game. All right, wing left. They're going to run power that way. And Liberty Center covers that up really well, maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah, Liberty Center, great penetration, and Stephen Brogan back in the game. You see his helmet on the play. Xander Zeider. Look at all the guys getting out. Kyler Kern, Garrison. I mean, this is just a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, this run game has disappeared here in the last couple possessions.
And Spike, I'm telling you, Zach Elkert is a good running back. He is explosive. He's got a bunch of yards and touchdowns. Liberty is shutting him right down.
Okay, Kern, Zeider, and Spangler, that front three. 2 linebackers edging close. Brogan wants some of it. Brogan coming hard, can't get there. They swing it out into the flats. Caught, leaps over a tackler. A gain of 9 and a Liberty-Benton first down into Liberty Center territory.
Braden Lemire again, physical. He gets in that space. He's imposing. He's got good hands. And Liberty-Benton has found something in Braden Lemire, and a guy that has been used not sparingly, but efficiently all year. But, man, he is showing up tonight here early.
Yeah, you can see him in the slot. You can split him out wide. He can run a deep ball. You can do a lot of different things with him. He's a nice-looking receiver.
Okay. Benton comes to the line of scrimmage at the Tiger 47, 1st and 10. Motion to the far side. Now he'll reset. Give to that second back. They try to gain a little bit of pounding. And Liberty Center breaks off of that. Still pounding. And turns that in from a 1-yard gain into about 3 off that inside.
Liberty had him stop at the line of scrimmage, but Zach Elkert shows some guts and some power. Yeah, that was a tough run, Spike. And you see him, he's tall, he's athletic, he's lanky, but you saw him driving through tackles. So nice gain for Zach.
All right, gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Ball at the Tiger 43. You've got a wide out to either side with the wing now coming this way. In motion. Now they set up. They're going to run a power sweep or a quick second back through. Not a power sweep, excuse me, but that's good for 6 yards, and I believe that moves the chains again.
Well, there's their alpha offensive player, Seth Elkert, and we know he's prominent in both the pass game and the run game, and that time you saw him with a good game.
You saw that burst there once he got that seam. He's got a different speed, a different level that he can hit.
And Spike, they're adding a lead blocker in a lot of these runs.
Yes,
that's a power.
That was a big change.
That's a power.
It caught Liberty, and they got a first down. All right, wing set to this side. Double wide out to the wide side. They're going to give it right up the middle and slowed down, finally knocked down by Moeller. After a gain of 3, that could have been dangerous. He broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Again, good gain on first down, and Liberty-Benton a little bit of an adjustment in their run game, adding some players in the box, a lead blocker, a little misdirection. Good job again by Zach Elkert. So this staff and Scott Garlock, very creative on offense. Cliff Height talked about it this week in our interview. It's showing up here in the field tonight.
All right, double wide out to this side, single over there with a wing set to the left. Quarterback with a protector, throws it, quick shot over the outside, and oh my, Cam Colley exerted a little bit of will there, imposed his will on that receiver, gave him a little extra body toss.
That's
incomplete.
That's the route jigs. That's the route jigs. You're talking right there.
Right.
The minute he sees an opportunity, baits that throw. That was sophomore Connor Barbara. Fact is, I like that matchup for us, Cam Colley, an all-league defender, all-district defender.
The key for a corner is to be able to get out of a break. You got to be able to backpedal.
He may be the best we've seen
and
getting out of a break.
Get to full speed, and Cam Colley is fantastic out of his breaks.
All right, Liberty-Benton with a 3rd and 7. Rolling to this way, throws it short. That's going to be caught, spins out of a tackle inside the 20-yard line, and that's going to bring up fourth down, but a very short situation for the Liberty-Benton Eagles.
Braden Lemire again. You know, they're moving the quarterback a little bit, Trevin Lee. They're moving him here, moving him there, giving him a little bit extra space and time. Those short throws, very efficient. We knew he threw at a high percentage. He's doing it again tonight.
Yeah, Blake Garber, great read right there. Just couldn't quite corral him. Was able to get a little bit extra yards.
Fourth down and 1. The ball at the Tiger 28. Out of the gun. Double wing set. Motion that way. They tried to get the call, and they wanted to draw Liberty Center off sides. And now Benton will call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock.
Yeah, that's a big play for Liberty-Benton. They've done a nice job on this drive. They've matriculated down the field. They've done a nice run-pass mix. You talked about that, Jake. So they ran the football effectively all year long. Don't forget, this year they ran it for 1,548 yards, and they threw it for 1,920, gaining about 350 a game. So you're seeing a very balanced offense, and Scott Garlock dialing up a nice-looking drive here.
Yeah, and there was 2 possessions where they could not run the football. So kudos to them sticking with the run game, because I think they know they have got to keep the run game going in order for this pass game to do what it can.
Well, and let's give a little credit to the Liberty Center defense. They did not jump. They did not get pulled offside. That is discipline. That's why Liberty Center is so efficient, so good, because they're coached well and they listen. And that was a prime area. Boy, this
Here
is
we go, Spike. Fourth down.
Field. Yep, they're coming out. I wondered what that was. They was not under center. They need a yard. Were they going to run for it? No. Now, let's see what Benton comes out with. Quarterback out of the gun.
Watch number 10.
Wide out to either side with single protector. Wing to the right. Motion to the wide side. He's going to throw a little out route and caught down at the 25-yard line. That's just a tough route to stop. A gain of 3 yards is all. But all you need is just a little wiggle room.
Yeah, that's all they needed. And again, we talked about it.
Old call.
Yeah, Trevin Lieb, again, just doing a great job of being efficient and accurate and on time on that timing pattern there.
Spike, good point there. I mean, those comeback routes are the toughest, where that receiver is pushing you off as a corner, and then you have to stop your back pedal, get out of your break when that receiver knows his route. That's very tough to do as a corner.
You cannot afford to get burnt on a little
out
and up.
Little hitch and go. Another thing, too, they know where they're going and you don't.
Yeah. Yep.
As a defender.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of Liberty Center. Out of the gun with a single protector. Motion back this way. Give to the back and a lot of wide open room, and nailed there by Moeller. Came up from his safety spot, but a gain of 7 yards straight up the middle. Caught Liberty Center gapped.
You see number 15, Austin Collard, in that H-back role, lining up inside kind of that tackle guard. He's been that power guy. That time that looked like a little alignment, to kind of move some people over to strength, and allowed number 20, Zach Elkert, for a big gain, 7 yards.
Benton's had possession of the ball now for nearly 5 minutes. Ball on the 18-yard line. Motion to the wide side. Rolling that way. He'll lob it out there to the motion man.
Uh-oh.
Fumble.
And
breaks the tackle. Fumbles at that ball.
No,
they're going to say it was down.
I don't know about that.
Bad call, but doesn't matter. I think he got on anyways.
Do we have a replay?
I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. It looked like Garrison Cruz.
Definitely a fumble.
Got it out on time. Let's watch. Gets the ball to the outside. Oh, boy, that ball. He was fumbling that ball on the way down.
Yeah.
Oh, my. But Liberty-Benton did recover that ball. But, anytime you see Seth Elkert in motion, you got to get keyed on that guy.
Right.
They're looking to get him the ball on the perimeter. Excellent perimeter player for Liberty-Benton.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Tiger 13-yard line. They're going to give it straight ahead. And runs right into a bone crusher.
What a hit.
Who was that?
Kellen Weimer.
Kellen Weimer. What a man.
Man, he's having a big night.
He is. Kellen Weimer just beat his guy like a dog and made a huge tackle, stood him right up. He does run high. Zach Elkert is really good, but he's 6'3", running tall, bigger target. And
he just ran into a grizzly bear that time.
And Weimer put the old shoulder pads into the chest.
All right, that was a gain of 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. 4 minutes, clock running. Double wide out to the side, single to the wide side. Quarterback out of the gun with one protector. Now rolls left, drops it out there. That's going to be caught at the 10. And Liberty Center swarms to the ball, nails him at about the 8-yard line. Good gang tackle.
They're just really patient. Braden Lemire this time, those 3-4 yard completions, man. And Brian, it's been effective. They've rolled him out, got a half roll, a really short little 4-yard route, hook it up, run that dig route, and those plays are there for them.
You got to honor the slant. You got to honor the fades. So you can't really just go unabandoned, on these short routes. You have got to play them honest. So great job to rally there, Blake Garber, to make that tackle.
All right, gain of 3. That'll make a 3rd down and 4 at Liberty Center's 8-yard line. 3 minutes left in the first half. 14-0 Liberty Center. Now motion to the wide side. Quarterback is going to loft the home run ball, and he was wide open, overthrows it incomplete. Wow, that'll bring up 4th down.
He was wide open. They schemed to Zach Elkert. I think a lot of eyeballs on Seth Elkert on the slant. You called it, and I don't know if that's a safety over the top or a linebacker underneath, but number 20, Zach Elkert, was wide open.
That was a touchdown. Yeah,
that was a touchdown. Again, Scott Garlock, pretty creative on offense when you watch him play.
He puts you in a lot of uncomfortable positions.
Well, that
as
was
a
one for Liberty.
That
was one for Liberty right there.
All right, well, obviously a big play. Remember, Liberty-Benton can pick up a 1st down. Their ball is at the 8-yard line, and they're going to use their 2nd timeout.
Well, I think this is an important for Liberty Center. I mean, Liberty-Benton is showing you they can possess the football in that controlled passing game, and they're going to take shots down the field.
Yep.
But I just feel like I've been very impressed, and I knew I would be, by Braden Lemire, their slot receiver, physical, good hands. He's made a number of big plays, and I like what they're doing with Trevin Leib. They're kind of half rolling him a little bit.
Yep.
To the right, to the left, not a lot of pressure, getting rid of the football, and excellent routes by Liberty-Benton.
Yeah, it's the quick passing game.
Yes.
So we don't even have time to get to the quarterback. It's a 1, 2, 3, and that ball's out, whether it's in the pocket or he's rolling out, and that's tough to defend as a secondary and also from a defensive line because you can't get to the quarterback.
Well, we saw early Liberty Center Spike wanted to cover. Let's put 8 to cover, 7 to cover. You put Sonnenberg in, you replace maybe a run defender in there, and you might see that again here because they're going to have to throw the football to convert this.
Colley out there wide on defense to the far side. Garber out there as well playing man-to-man defense. Miller over here playing as a safety, and now
another timeout by Liberty-Benton.
Liberty-Benton just spent their last time out.
I don't think Scott Garlock cares. I think he thinks his touchdown, it's the payoff for a great drive. This is
really
important for him.
Yes, they got to score here if you're Liberty-Benton.
I'm here to tell you, if you're a fan of this game and you're watching, keep your eyeballs on number 10, Seth Elkert. They can get him the ball in space by throwing it to him, by pitching it to him. And Spike, Liberty's defense has been pretty good, but that last pass play, they broke open and could not deliver the football, and we were fortunate to get Liberty-Benton in the 4th down.
We didn't have an answer. He came on a jet sweep type of formation, and nobody picked him up coming around the corner. Well, it's just another good learning tool.
Yeah.
Now we've seen it. Now we know it. With 3 minutes left, obviously, 4th and 4, there's a lot of big plays, a lot of turning points in a game. This certainly is pivotal.
Well, Liberty-Benton wants to stay in this game, Jigs. A touchdown's a big part of them staying connected because if Liberty gets this, and they're running the clock too. I mean,
correct.
You think in a passing game the clock stops, but Liberty-Benton has kept that balance, run, throw, and they've run this clock down.
All right, a double wide out to the far side. The ball on the left hash, a wide out over here. And now Liberty Center's going to call a timeout. The chess match continues.
Well, Casey Moeller is next level defensive coordinator, and I think Scott Garlock is stressing the Liberty Center defensive group, and I've been impressed with what Scott's done. Mark?
Hey, I'm going to jump in here just a second. If you're out there on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button or the join button, that little bell up in the corner. That'll do a couple things as we add our schedule for the winter broadcast. We're not done with fall yet. You'll get notifications. You'll get when games start. You'll get all those. Also, we will be getting our schedule up. Also, We've got some scores. Patrick Henry 21, Kerry 0, Norway 14, Eastwood 21, so that's game's tightened up. Milan Edison 21, Triway 0. We'll play the winner of this game will play the winner of the Oak Harbor Keystone game, and everybody's texting me. Number one, we don't know anything about it. We don't know where we'll play. If I had to pick, it'll be Perrysburg, Lake, or Clay.
I suggest we stop Liberty-Benton on 4th down.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Spike. So here we go.
4th and 4 from the 8. Out of the gun. Now motion to the wide side. He's going to roll that way. Looking, fires up there.
Get up, Gary.
It was not
Wow, what a play.
Who got that?
That was
Garrison
a one-handed
Cruz.
grab.
I think that was Garrison Cruz. One-handed. We got to see that again, Boom Boom.
Man, oh, man.
Wow.
What a play.
That's a big-time play. Trevin Labe, a lot of time rolling to his right.
Nothing there.
Let's watch number 30 here. He's looking at that slant. Oh, there it was, one-handed. Whoa.
Yeah,
Garrison
he came
Cruz.
across from the other side. The quarterback never saw him. Liberty Center gets out of trouble.
Oh, man, Garrison Cruz answers the bell. What a football player.
What a stop. What a stop.
Lieb was,
that really wasn't there. I mean, that was a great that was a great play by both corner and the sniper there to cover that down and the Garrison with the flow.
All right, a wide out to either side, double wing set. And Miller's going to keep it right up the middle, but he runs into a buzzsaw. No gain on the play. Tigers lead it 14-0, and at this point of the game, Liberty-Benton can't stop the clock. Liberty Center may try to bust the big play, but they're not going to get too wild and dialed here.
Just Liberty Center all year long. We talked about their scoring defense, the best in Division 5. Only giving up 3.6 points a game because of stuff like that, interceptions and big plays. And Garrison Cruz, a big-time football player.
All right, so now Cruz moves to the wing, a double wing package with a wide out to either side. Drops back. He'll throw the home run ball.
That's interference. Yeah, he did.
And falls down, and, they do get the pass interference call. The defender tripped, it looked to me.
I think Cammie had him, and I think that was he ended up interfering.
Let's give the 15 yards up. Carson Griffin, a sophomore. That's not a good matchup for them with Cam Colley in the slot. And I like the targets to Cam Colley.
Yeah, agreed.
We've talked about that a little bit. You talked about it first, but I'm going to take it as my idea. I appreciate your suggestion.
We've talked about
you
it together.
You make suggestions.
We've talked about it together. So.
Spike Whitman, Liberty first down, but that clock running against them a little bit.
All right, they've still got 2:06, but this is what they work on, the 2-minute offense. So the Tigers with the ball now out to the 33, a little more maneuverability room. And so we'll see what transpires.
I'd fade him up again.
Double wing set, single setback. Now motion this way. They're going to give it straight ahead. And they look at. Uh-oh. Oh, my.
Wow.
I think Liberty's.
Yeah, they've already called the possession. He's got the ball. I think they're going to give it. Let's watch this play inside. An inside run to Waylon Rentz. Oh, strip. That ball was definitely on the ground. Liberty-Benton got it. Number 78, William Granger, made a great play. And, boy, that puts Liberty-Benton right in business with 2 minutes to go and no timeouts. And they kicked the ball really well.
All right, well. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, and you've got to play the card you're dealt, so the Tigers have to come right back with some more defense. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 34. Trip wideouts. Sets up, throws, and that's going to be caught down there at the 20-yard line. That'll move the chains for a first down. Clock at 1:56.
Connor Barbara, a sophomore, again, running a great route. This is just Scott Garlock, timing pattern, hitching up, easy completion.
That was a great throw. Cam didn't even see him actually break down. I don't know if that was like a zero route, and it kind of back-shouldered him. Didn't really even give Cam an opportunity to play that football. So that was a great throw.
All right, so Benton, wing left. Double wide out to this side. They run that motion. He stops.
That's
now
too much
cuts.
space.
Takes the
Oh,
pass.
look at
Hit
that
right
guy.
there by Jackson Bartels.
Hey, that's a great
Slams
play.
him to the ground for a 2-yard loss. Big play.
Jackson Bartels, Grady Miller, but again, Spike, you talked about how good the tackling has been.
Man, oh man.
You've talked about it
Yes.
all year long. Jackson Bartels really finishing his senior year on a high. That was a great hit.
Well, you saw him on that little jet motion. I go, man, he's got a lot of space. That's not the guy you want to give space, but man, that space closed very quickly with Jackson Bartels on that
Grady Miller
pursuit.
was right on top of it as well.
All right.
Big time play.
Zider the nose.
Wouldn't be
Weimer and
surprised on a
Spangler, the
50-50 ball
tackles.
here.
All right, out of the gun.
Reverse.
They're going to run
They're
a
gonna throw
reverse.
it.
Now
Little-
a pass.
little throw
Rolling
here.
out, nothing there. Chased by Spangler coming on. and
Oh, yeah,
they're gonna
Gary.
nail him at the
Oh,
line of
yeah,
scrimmage.
baby.
No, throw for a 2-yard loss. Oh, take that trickery, baby. That ain't going to work against this Tiger Ball Club.
Oh, boy.
That'll bring up
What are we
third
doing now?
down. Uh-oh.
Looks
now
like
a
Liberty
late
Benton.
flag.
Liberty Benton
Yeah, better.
might be against Liberty Benton. There was some post whistle
Watch
talking.
this pursuit, Garrison Cruz.
Oh, Cruz with a
Yo,
great tackle.
and then Waylon Rentz
Boom, Waylon
finished him
Rentz.
off.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's an extra 15.
That's an unsportsmanlike,
Like some of that action.
unsportsmanlike penalty against Liberty Benton. That was really an important penalty
that is-
against them.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh.
what happens when you get a hit like that on your own sidelines. It doesn't feel very good. Maybe you get some mouthing off happening. I'm not sure, but man, that was a big-time hit.
The captain spotting on a sideline infraction rather than unsportsmanlike. So
Okay. So, third down and 14 now. A minute to go. Rolling out. Dropping back now. Has all kinds of time. Throws underneath. And Liberty Center
Man
there
downfield.
controlling that area.
Yep.
Stops him for about 5, and that's it.
illegal man downfield, it looks like, or illegal procedure.
Supposed to be a screen. Looked like they were setting a screen up there, right?
Yeah, they're setting a screen up in the defensive line. All stopped and read it. They're the first to snuff it out.
Yep.
Again, well-coached, disciplined. That screen was not there, but they were able to get some positive yards. But I think they're going to call either illegal man downfield here, some sort of procedure penalty against Liberty Benton.
Well, let's say it's a 5-yard penalty. Do you take the yardage?
Or
No,
leave
they're
it
going
out.
to pick it
Yeah.
up. The man was not illegally downfield, apparently.
Now this, I think, is fourth down. I think.
So now that makes it 4th down and about 8 yards to go.
Here we go.
The ball is on the Tiger 18-yard line.
Number 10 all night, Seth Elkert. They've been targeting him all night. And you can see number 18 as well, Braden Lemire, Liberty Center. Knows what's
Got
coming.
him on the same side
4th
down
and
here.
8 at the 18. Same formation.
Watch 20 out of
we've
the
seen.
backfield, too.
Drops back to throw.
Pick.
Man
There
out there,
goes that
picked
guy.
up on the sideline.
out.
Heading
Look
upfield.
out.
Follows the tackle.
Uh-oh.
Cuts to the outside.
There it is.
And bangs his way up near the 30-yard line. The Tigers shut him out again.
Oh, man, Cam Colley is just bait and throws, waiting in the weeds.
Wow.
Man, oh, man, here comes the replay. And just watch number 7, man. He's reading this, and there's the break.
Yep.
Boom.
Boom. He jumped the route and took it. Wow.
He saw the route complete before the receiver did. Like, he
Yep.
ran it for him.
Yes, he did.
Another important – Liberty's defense has just been stifling in the pass game so far in big plays. Great job.
Impressive.
Cam Colley. Wow.
All right, 44 seconds. The Tigers, you have 2 timeouts. I'm not sure we're going to see a whole lot here, and they're in the just going to down the snap right away and
Liberty
let the
gets
clock
the ball
run out.
first out of the half as well, correct?
Well, I think that's what Casey's saying. Don't risk another turnover and get in and get the ball and get a good start to the half. Liberty Benton has been an excellent offensive game plan, Spike, but Liberty's defense has answered time and time again with big plays and 2 big picks to complete that half.
Wow.
All right. Well, we're going to take our halftime break here from Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field. I've only said that 8 million times this year. The Liberty Center Tigers lead at halftime, 14-0, everybody. And with that, we'll be back after this halftime break.
Halftime score. Liberty-Benton 0. Your Liberty Center Tigers 14.
band is under the direction of Mr. Tom Hogan, with Assistant Director Mr. Jack Gottschalk, Percussion Advisor Mr. Michael Conley, and Color Guard Advisor Ms. Kayla Littman. To open our show, the band will play Barbara Ann. For the next song, the band will play Land of a Thousand Dances. To close our show, please enjoy Paint of Black.
and gentlemen, please welcome to the field of marching pride of Tiger Country, the Liberty Center Tiger Marching Band. Band is led on the field this year by drum major Savannah Hernandez and captain AJ Senior. Tonight, the band is bringing you, for the last time, our Halloween show. For our first song, we take you once again to Barnum and Bailey's famous circus. Under the big top, perhaps we'll showcase our musical talents with this first song, The Greatest Show. Drum major Savannah Hernandez, is your band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, your Tiger Marching Band. Song, we're trying to get into the Christmas spirit, but we're still a little too close to Halloween. Well, this next song lets you do both. From the hit movie Nightmare Before Christmas, this is Halloween. For our final song, we are hoping to play loud enough to bring the dead back to life. Come down to the graveyard, we're ready to party with some zombies. I hear they're pretty cool guys. Give it up for our final song, a favorite of his chimpanzee. This is Michael Jackson's Thriller.
All right, we're back here at halftime. Once again, the Liberty Center Tigers lead the Liberty-Benton Eagles 14-0. And special treat, Bergstrom Barrett, Bergie, with the stats, one of our student statisticians. What do we got, Berg?
All right, the first half stats. Rush yards, Liberty Center with 119 yards. The Liberty-Benton Eagles with 37. Their rush game is not on tonight, but we are. Pass yards, 2 yards for LC, which is not very good, but 104 for Eagles. Total yards, 121 yards for LC and 141 yards for the Eagles. First downs, we have 6 and they have 10. Penalties, we have 1 penalty for 15 yards and they have 2 penalties for 20 yards. Fumbles, we both have 1 fumble and both have 1 turnover on a fumble. Interceptions, we don't have any, but they have 2. And those interceptions were by Gary Cruz and Cam Colley. Turnovers, we only have 1, which was on the fumble, and Liberty-Benton has 3, 1 fumble and 2 interceptions. For receiving, for LC, only 1 catch for 3 yards, Cam Colley. Rushing, Gary Cruz has 3 attempts for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is a star tonight. Waylon Rentz has 4 attempts for 29 yards. Passing, Caden Crimebrink with 1 attempt for only 3 yards. Passing game is not on tonight. For the Liberty-Benton Eagles, receiving is Connor Barbara, 2 receptions for 39 yards. Braden Lemire, 4 receptions for 29 yards. They had a lot of other kids out there that were catching the ball, so they were distributing it well. And rush yards, Zach Elchert with 11 attempts for 33 yards. He was their leading rusher. And passing for them, Trevin Lieb, 12 for 22 with 104 yards. Those are your first half stats.
Yep, a lot of short passes there. So, they got some yards, but a lot of quick, short passes. And you know what? You've earned your shout-out, dude. Give it one time.
Shout out to Ryan Callahan.
Who is Ryan Callahan?
He
used to
Liberty
coach?
Center baseball player, and he went to Toledo, and he did very well. Toledo was a third baseman, and he was a very good hitter.
He was a Delta player, Liberty Center coach.
Yeah.
And he is your hitting coach, Ryan Callahan. Great guy. You New York Met fan. I got a 50-50. Daryl Strawberry,
right.
Bobby Ojeda. So
Pretty drip.
there you go. Excellent job.
Berger, you
Excellent
gonna make
brother.
another appearance here, man?
Oh,
That was awesome, buddy.
Maybe.
Look at he's all over that. Bergstrom Barrett, our statistician.
Well, that was
He
great.
did better than you did, Scott, on your first broadcast.
You know, it
dude.
was my first broadcast. You had to carry me. I was so doggone nervous, Mark. Thank gosh you were a veteran in there. Tighten up, guys. Want to get a good picture of our student team, Liberty Center and LC Tiger Sports working together. And
Brady Chappa in the booth tonight,
Brady
too.
Chappa
Brady's
doing a
going to
little
join
intern.
us.
Yeah.
And Boom Boom, if you guys have noticed, absolutely fantastic. Right on time on the replays tonight.
Hitting them.
Let's talk about this a little bit, Jakes. We've got a minute to go. Liberty Center has been outgained 141 to 121. As you have said, Liberty-Benton very efficient on offense. It's been the turnovers that Liberty Center has collected, the interceptions in particular. Liberty-Benton has been on our side of the 50 a lot tonight.
Yeah, they've had some sustained drives that have looked really nice. They've got the run game going there, those last two drives of the second quarter there, and they were mixing that in well with the pass game. And I don't know what that – it was probably a 5-7 minute drive almost in that second quarter that really shortened this game up. So I think that's the key for Liberty-Benton in the second half. Sustained drives, limit the turnovers, and try to get a couple 3-and-outs here on Liberty Center and see if, they can't try to put a couple points on.
They've done a good job on defense, too. I think what they've tried to do is get Liberty stopped before they get started. So you're seeing some run blitzes. You're seeing a 5-man front, which, they usually run out of a 4-man front. They've added another guy on the defensive line. That's helped. Liberty Center still blocking them well up front, but Liberty-Benton just making just enough plays to stay in this one. Been very impressed with their quarterback tonight. I like Trevin Lieb. He's got 2 picks, and those are important, especially one inside the 10, but he's got a little half roll going, and he's finding his 2 primary receivers, number 10, Seth Elkert, and number 18, Braden Lemire. Lemire has been impressive. I worried about him inside the hashes. They're completing a lot of balls outside the hashes tonight. Jigs, what's that about?
Yeah, well, I think what you're seeing is, obviously with this route tree, you're getting a lot of attention on that slot. So you got the snipers that are playing that slot, and the corners have to kind of keep an eye there as well. But it's these timing patterns that are very tough for a corner to stay on top of. It's the 12, come back to 10. It's that 5-yard speed out. So this is a very well-run offense, very well-run route tree, and these guys are sharp on it, and it's tough. We've seen a couple interceptions, but when you're a corner and you're backpedaling, you got to get out of a 5-and-out. Kind of what we've seen tonight. That's tough ask for a corner.
So when I've noticed when Lieb rolls out and he throws to the side that he's rolling, extremely efficient.
Yes.
When he's throwing across the field.
Yep.
When he's throwing on the left hash to the right sideline, that's where you've seen the interceptions.
Yes.
And that's where you've seen the ball hang a little bit, and that's where Cam Colley's waiting in the weeds to make plays. I think Grady Miller has been on top of his receiver. He's one of the best shutdown corners we've had in recent history. Liberty Center's defensive line hadn't got any pressure because the throws have been so quick.
Hey, we got a couple halftime scores here. Cole's going to put them up here. And some of this Edison 21, Triway 7. These are in our bracket. Norway 28, Eastwood 28. Woo, there's a good one. Norway beat Tenora. Delta, I'm sorry, in overtime.
And a barn burner last week for Mike
Patrick
Vickers.
Henry, 21. Carey, 0. Oak Harbor, 28. Keystone. Also, I've got Napoleon, 14-0 in the middle. Well, it's probably halftime now. OG leads Shelby 7-6. That's a big game. Also, the Tenora Lady Volleyballers, which we've been following, they dropped the first set, and they're getting ready to start the second set. They're in the semifinals for the Division 5 volleyball, or Division 3
This
volleyball.
Liberty-Benton team put it 2 out of Glandorf, I think, in the opening game of the season, 34-6. And you can see why. Liberty-Benton outstanding on offense. And let me remind our viewers, Liberty-Benton averages about 40 points a game and only gives up 5. So this stingy defense and I think that's a lot to do with their athletes in the back end. You see a lot of guys running the football, a lot of hats on the football, and give Scott Garlock and their staff a lot of credit for hanging in this thing. And Spike Liberty Center up 14-0 will get the ball. And nothing is more important, I think, in my mind, in the first drive of a half.
Oh, yeah, you obviously want to set a tone. You want to, like Casey impressed on him, impose your will. This is the time of the game where the aura of Liberty Center's grind it, smash mouth, in your face football really has to come to the front.
Well, Liberty Center is outstanding out of halftime. I don't know a staff. It was an earmarker Rex Lindgren too. Spike. They came out of halves with an excellent first drive, good game plan. So the adjustments have been made. Let's see if Liberty Center can get control of this football
one
game.
other quick score: Defiant 6, Benedictine 14 here.
Whoa.
Going into half.
Here we go.
All right, we're set. And here's the kick. Low line drive. That's going to scoop. Picked up on one hop by Collie.
Oh, my, wow.
What He's got block. Running room, but there's a flag on the play way back there.
Holy smokes.
No, maybe not.
There's a flag.
There was. Yep, there was a flag.
Jackson Bartels hooked up with Liberty-Benton's best defender and created a tremendous collision. C.J. Barbara.
Big hit.
And I think Jackson is feeling it, but there is a flag. I'm wondering if there's maybe a flag for leading with their head. We'll have to see.
My goodness,
I think it was on the player behind that, Scott. I think
they'll be holding against Liberty Center then.
Yeah, I think it was on the Liberty Center Tiger that was behind that play.
Boom. Can we see a
what
replay
a
there or no?
scintillating return, though, by Cam Collie.
CJ Barbera.
That was a
big-time collision.
Big collision.
All right, they're going to walk it off from the 30-yard line, and that'll take it back to the 21. Well, okay. Here we go.
Well, Jackson Bartels won it.
Yeah, he was on top.
He was.
But
he's thinking about it.
Neither of them feel very good
He's
right
counting
now.
to 12
I'll
backwards, and he's probably on
now,
11.
Will Liberty-Benton do a lot of stunning, a lot of run stunning? Will they gamble on defense
I think they're in a 5-man defense, and they want to stop the run. They're going to see a lot of movement in that defensive line.
All right. Tries to follow a couple blocks, spinning and popping over is Rentz. He'll get up to the 25, so 4 tough yards, but positive yardage nonetheless.
Yeah, Carson Griffin, another one of those defensive backs, Jigs, that you've talked about all week. Athletic, they're good tacklers, and they support the run, the outside run.
That's a young sophomore, not big stature, coming up physical in the run game on Waylon Rentz. Impressive tackle there for a young fellow.
All right, Tigers come in with 2 wideouts to the wide side. Now they shift over to that wide side, a power formation there. Miller out of the gun. He's going to hand off to Rentz. Rentz cuts it up now, cuts it back to the outside, into the open now. Now puts another move on him. Spins his way up across the 45, up to the 48-yard line. A gain of 23 yards by Rentz. Wow.
Let's get another look at that if we can. Left side of the offensive line, the wing blocking down. Here we go. Weimer, they're running behind him a lot tonight. They reset, and here comes the run to the wing. Great blocking again. Another great block by Walker. And another good block by Lay. Boy, oh boy, you see the offensive line hitting their blocks. You see big gains.
All right, so now the Tigers at their own 48-yard. Whoa, we've got a flag right away. What?
Substitution penalty here? Or maybe against Liberty Center. Don't like that. Again, puts them behind the chains and off schedule. Again, these are not comfortable for Casey, who's an efficient offensive play caller.
All right, well, hey, we just fight right back from them. Here we go now. 1st and 15 from their own 43. Standard full house tee in the backfield. Give to the first back. And the dives, while effective big once or twice, have not been gannered in a lot.
Well, I think Liberty-Benton has been paying attention to level 1. That's why you're seeing a lot of defensive linemen moving, stunting, blitzing out of the second level. They're really dedicating a lot of guys to this run game, Brian.
Yeah, number 20, Zach Elkert, is going to see Tyler Lay in his sleep tonight. Tyler Lay is just following him all over the field and just blocking to the whistle. But, man, that guy stays on you.
All right, double wing set with Garber spread out wide to the far side. Motion Moeller. Now back to throw, has to get rid of it, and throw was low. Miller was pressured and slammed down back near the 30. Got rid of it in time, but Liberty looking at a 3rd and 13.
C.J. Barbera again. He's made a lot of big plays, and that pressure cost Liberty Center any positive yards. And C.J.'s made a lot of nice plays tonight. Even if he's not making tackles, Jigs, he is in the play creating havoc.
Yeah, they kind of left him unblocked there, and that's not the guy I would leave unblocked.
Right.
Collie and Garber now spread out wide over here. Tigers shift to a power formation to the right side. Miller with a single setback out of the gun. Now they're going to hand it off. He got 2 blockers in front, pounding through there, and Liberty Center's going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. That'll get him over the midfield stripe. 4th down on the way in about 6.
What do we got?
We're going to have a sideline warning against Liberty Center here, too, because Brian Hefflinger not happy, but looks like Casey not happy with.
Waylon Rentz was complaining on a face mask there. He's pretty adamant. I'm guessing.
I'm sure Brian was not happy.
That's probably what he saw, would be my guess.
And Casey not real happy with. It's good to see the intensity of the sideline a little bit. Gonna get
Absolutely.
Sideline warning.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Wow, no warning. They're going to call that against Brian Hefflinger. I thought they'd get a warning, but maybe what Brian said. There was some ripping and roaring in that pile as he was driving.
Waylon Rentz came up from the pile, and he was not happy. He was doing one of these on the face mask, so I think he was getting ripped underneath the pile and didn't like it. My guess is some of the coaches kind of saw that. And
another 15-yard penalty for Liberty Center, and this has been a bugaboo for them, unfortunately, all season long. And it stops a drive, and Liberty Center will have to punt back to Liberty-Benton.
All right, 4th and about 23, standing back at his 24-yard line. All right, good snap. High floater. That's going to come down at the 35-yard line, take a sideways hop, and head on out of bounds. So Liberty-Benton will have field position a third of the way up the field, where they'll put it in play with 9.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
2 key penalties there. You had an illegal substitution that got him at 1st and 15, and then Liberty-Benton's top defender does what he does. C.J. Barbera creating havoc, in our passing game, and did not allow Grady Miller to get a clean look. And here we go, Liberty-Benton back on offense.
Big stop there from Liberty-Benton.
All right. Benton comes out. Double wide out to the wide side. It's kind of a standard set with a wing to the wide side. He'll roll this way. Looks. Now tries to scramble. In trouble. Hit right there. Sacarino!
I'll tell you what, Garrison Cruz was in on that. And number 75, Hunter Spangler. And that is a coverage sack.
Yeah. Great job.
That is a secondary spike that has just got everything covered. Let's watch this. And you're looking at Garber here right on the 47-yard line, and just nothing to see.
On top of that route.
Just not going to let number 10, Seth Elker, beat him down the field.
Well, Trevin Lee, that's not his specialty. His scrambling is not his specialty. He wants to throw the football from the pocket.
All right, now wide out to either side with the wing slot set, now motion. They're going to fake it. The little scissors play, ran it right up the middle, and still going. A lot of bodies flying around like big-time wrestling. Gain of about 4 on the play, 5 on the play.
They did a good job blocking Xander Zeider there. And Liberty-Benton is showing their chops in the running game, and give credit to Scott Garlock. He's not abandoned that running game. He's been balanced all year long and sticking with the run, and good gain there.
Yes.
3rd and 5 here, Spike.
Yep. All right, gain of 6, so 3rd and 5 from their own 43. Trip receivers to the far side of the field, empty backfield. Quarterback, Stipley gets rid of it quick. Caught up there short of the 50-yard line, but that's enough to move the chains. They got it a yard past the marker and a 1st down. Now, Liberty-Benton had one good drive where a lot of short dink and dunk passing. But as a defense, you've just got to be patient. You've got to wait your turn, and then boom, step up and jump the route. All right, 1st and 10 for Benton. 14-0 Liberty, 7.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. A little tighter formation. Drops back 2, now throws it up there forever. Incomplete. Liberty Center surrounded that. That was Thomas Moeller and Blake Garber out there, double teaming the receiver.
Oh, man, it's like number 10, Seth Elkert, going up to make a play. By the way, great job by Blake Garber, but there's our top offensive player, Seth Elkert. It looks like he's got
that doesn't look good.
Looks pretty painful. I don't know if I want to see that on a he may have planted and gotten that into some trouble.
Man, I hate to see that.
That ankle.
Thomas Moeller, good job there again on the top. And deep safety, he's had a couple of them plays tonight over the top and made a really nice play.
If I turn my microphone on, I'll be okay. All right, well, we got an injury timeout. Let's go ahead and hear from our sponsors and run our disclaimer. Tiger Sports Live would like to thank its 2024-25 title sponsors, KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Swanton Welding, P's and Ello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, and the Gerald Grain Centers. We appreciate you guys. They support us, so please support them.
Broadcast is copyrighted by Tiger Sports Live for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of Tiger Sports Live is prohibited.
All right, well, the injured player's up, and we won't say too much more about that. But, hey, if you're out there on our platforms, go ahead. We're getting real close on YouTube to reaching that 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at 917, 925, something like that. Help us out. Hit that button. We need 1,000 before football's over, and we're hoping to be on football for a couple more weeks. But, hang in there with us. You'll get notifications. You'll get a lot of good things going on. So, all right, we're back.
Good to see South get up off the field there. I initially thought maybe it could be more serious, but he's got some weight on that.
Yeah,
and
he's putting a little pressure on him.
That's good. I mean, you never want to see a top athlete, get hurt like that, and glad to see him get off the field. They need him, though, make no mistake. For their offense to go, he is the centerpiece. And they scheme a lot of plays around him, so let's see where Liberty-Benton takes their offense without their best player.
All right, it's the situation, 2nd and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Double receiver to the far side. Now hands off right up the middle, and he's going to be snowballed, powered down, and ding-dong deli right there.
Garrison Cruz, I think that may have been a run blitz. He came free. Just no one accounted for a player with that kind of explosiveness and just absolutely delivered a blow on a big play spike. Good call, Garrison Cruz. That deserves a wow for sure. You go, wow. Agreed.
This Liberty defense tonight, the pass defense has just been phenomenal.
Are you saying that was a 2-bark hit?
Yeah, that was definitely a 2-barker. Wow.
Maybe we need to get that sound effect.
Like I'm doubling down on the wows. Great play by Garrison.
All right, Liberty with 5 defensive backs. Now the little cross
there it was.
Over the middle, hit right there. That's going to be enough for a first down. Breaks the tackle, picks up a couple more yards. But that hard slant is tough to defend, and the quarterback laid it right on the money around the 40-yard line.
Little play action there, Jiggs, and maybe move the linebackers into a shallower hook zone to open up that slant. It was wide open and a good throw by Trevor Labe.
Well, I think you're going to see what this offense is going to do. You're going to see more Braden Leamer. That's going to be the guy now.
Okay, slot receiver to the right, wide out either way. Motion back here. They're going to give it right up the middle, and forget about that. Tigers slowed him down. Now they snow him under. It'll be a loss of 2 yards. Smackarino.
Yeah, Kyler Kern was first on the scene. He said, well, he didn't make the tackle. Well, you'd like that, but he made the play. He forced the running back, Zach Elkert, to kind of reroute, and then Liberty put a ton of hats and finished him for a tackle for loss. So great job by Kyler, and great job by Liberty getting a lot of hats on the ball. And I want to remind everybody, Liberty-Benton outgained us by 20 yards. They had more first downs, and they had more time of possessions. This Liberty-Benton offense came ready to give Liberty Center their best shot, and they're doing it.
All right, 2nd down and 12 from their own 41. As usual, out of the gun. He'll roll to his left. Fires it out, that little slant caught and hit quickly by Moeller and Garber. but they're close to a first down. They're going to give it to him. I really do believe he was a half a yard short, but the way they do it, they mark it on the nearest line, and that gives them the extra foot for the first down.
Little dig route. You drive the defensive back up the field, stop, turn, ball shows up right inside the hashes. So really, as you've said all night, Jigs, difficult to defend and well thrown.
All right, wing right set. Wide outs to the wide side of the field. Quarterback's going to hand it right up the middle.
Oh,
there's
your fumble.
Back
there's
your
fumble. Liberty Center's got it.
Jack Bartels comes up with the ball. What happened? A fumble on the pitch?
It was a fumble, and Liberty just kind of came free. I don't know if that was I want to see this replay, Jigs. Watch the defensive line gets all kinds of penetration.
Hunter Spangler.
The ball carrier fumbled it being tackled, I see.
Wow, another turnover by Liberty-Benton, which has kind of been their signature all year long.
Yep.
Man, that was a great drive they had, Spike. Again, time of possession, lots of first downs. And another turnover, their fourth tonight turnover, is that correct?
I believe they've had
4 turnovers, is that right?
Is it 3? I thought it was two picks and a fumble.
Yeah, and you had bad snaps on punts, so maybe 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Liberty with a wide out over here. They're going to run power sweep this way, looking for running room. Not a lot there. Rents maybe grinds for a couple. Up to the 39. Boy, they want some extracurricular. The Tiger crowd hostile. No call forthcoming.
Another play by C.J. Barbera. He's vying for best defender on the field tonight. He's made a ton of plays. That one was from behind for 1 yard. Liberty Center does not need any additional penalties here. Big drive for the Tigers.
Yeah, they got to put one together here.
Yeah, one score gives them some control of this football game.
All right, the wing on the far side is Cruz. White out is Garber to the far side. They're going to run a dive to Moeller. Moeller pops it up for 2 yards, down up to the 41, but Liberty faced with a 3rd and 6.
Another play by William Granger. That tackle's had a good night, and give that front 5 a lot of credit. They've said we're going to play a 5-man front. We're going to equal you in the box. And this, Liberty-Benton defensive line has stepped up in a lot of snaps tonight,
They've
Brian.
tightened up the second half for sure. They are playing our run game better than they did in that first half. And now it's 3rd and long again.
Cam Colley spread wide to the far side. Wing back on the right, Cruz. Twin setbacks. They're going to run power coming this way. Wrench cuts it up. Now cuts to the outside, back to the middle. Swerves outside. He's got downfield blockers. Heading down the sideline at the 20. And finally brought down at the 15-yard line. 44 yards. The Tigers come up with another big play, but Max Walker is banged up out there at midfield.
Toss sweep, blocking down. Gary Cruz, big block. Tyler Lay, great block. Then you're getting Weimer downfield. And, of course, Cam Colley, phenomenal. Clayton Seal calling it a first down after about the 30th yard. Good job, Clayton. But Liberty's up. They see something in that power toss.
Yep.
And Waylon Rents, excellent cutbacks, and Liberty blocking downfield. That was a huge run. Offensive line did a great job right side, Brian. Everybody hitting their blocks, and Gary Cruz destroyed his guy, blocking him down. So excellent job by Waylon Rents.
Let me ask, Liberty Center, you run the football and you run the football, but they've shown so many different twists and wiggles and new stuff here. They're running all kinds of different out of the basic formations, but a lot of new stuff and a lot of different things they're making out of nothing.
Hey, I do want to just butt in here a second. When we have injuries on the field, the camera tends to go to the injury, and we don't really feel like we want to show that. So we're putting up our banner page. We'll get back to the video. People are like, oh, the video's gone. Well, it's gone intentionally because, Max Walker now will come off the field. But we just the camera, we can't control it. It
has a mind of its own.
It does. Well, it has this algorithm, and when people move around, it wants to follow the ball. And when the medical staff's tending to the players, it tends to go over there, and we just don't feel like we want to show that.
Isn't that just typical of the crew? Mark Bly, a mind of his own. Scott Barrett, a mind of his own. The camera, a mind of its own.
And Spike Whitman, not a mind of his own.
Out of his mind.
Out of his mind. I like
Out of
that.
a mind of his own.
What a
Spike,
slam.
I wanted to get back to you on
James,
that.
you're the only straight guy up there.
Spike, really quick. It was a good question. Liberty Center likes to run a lot of the same holes out of different formations, different pre-snap looks. So they are mixing it up a little bit tonight.
All right, the standard wing left set. Now they're going to give that wing back sweep. Breaks through the middle. Still pounding. Grinding is Gary. And down inside the 5-yard line. Power football. That's what one thing they stressed this week.
Okay.
We want to put 1,000 pounds in
15-yarder.
front of that football. We try to get a man over man and one-man advantage, and they're running everybody in the kitchen sink.
Some late
here we
flags
go.
Gary Cruz not happy about. He was pointing to his foot.
Noah
there's been a
Hammondtree.
lot of like after the whistle kind of stuff on the ground. Not sure if we're holding on to ankles a little long or what.
Well,
but
Gary Cruz immediately pointed to his foot.
this is about the 4th time here.
Yep. Well, and Liberty's going to be the one that's going to get caught
Yep.
again, I think, for
We
another
got a flop, number 4.
15-yard penalty.
Personal foul.
Oh, boy, another 15-yard penalty. And
Can't
I
do
am
it.
sure there are some interesting things going on in the pile. There always was and always will be.
Can't do it.
But you just can't answer that when the referees have all the eyes on top of you. And
Can't do it.
especially when you're you're at home. You enjoy the advantage of being the 2 seed, and another 15-yard penalty
What
for
is
Liberty
that?
Center.
Is that 3 or 4?
That's
tonight?
number 3 at
Cannot
least.
happen.
Nope.
This stuff cannot happen.
All right. Now the situation. Liberty has a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. It's still a first down, 1st and 10, but it's clear back to the 19. White out to the far side, double setback, give to the No, it's a
nice
Miller
key. He's
keeper.
gone.
There,
He's
nobody
gone.
saw
Great
it.
play.
He's going to go all the way into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. Yeah.
Now that is a brilliant play call. Liberty-Benton is focused on inside run, that defensive end crashing, and outs. I love the keep. That was one of your
beautiful
plays,
thing. That's a
Jiggy. You
beautiful
love the
thing.
keep, and we'll see this replay in a minute, but man.
When you don't run it, you don't run it.
Bootleg. They should have.
They forget
thrown
all
that
about
play
you.
Into the fire years ago.
I'm telling you, it's not like Grady Miller shows up on film and looks like, Herschel Walker. But he did some great ball handling there.
Yep.
I mean, it was a great fake, that defensive end. You'll see on the replay, Spike, everybody is focused on the off
That
tackle.
corner was looking
inside.
He didn't even have a
It's
clue.
the rider on the snap. It's good. The hold by Kreinbrink is good. And Ian Rosebrock
Watch his
pounds it
cornerback.
right to the middle
Everybody
building.
down.
What?
27.
What?
No
He had
look.
no idea.
No look. And then Waylon Rentz blocks him. Oh, gosh. That's a sophomore that has not a lot of game experience and not used to seeing. I don't know how many times they've seen a keep on film.
Yeah.
But they pulled it out there.
Yep.
And that's the guys upstairs. That's Ryan Miller.
right.
That's Todd Spangler. That's Brad Howe. They're saying everybody's looking inside.
Yep.
And boom, there was the quarterback keep for an easy walk-in touchdown for Liberty.
And we still had a guy out there that blocked and just sealed off the last guy, but that guy wasn't even watching the right direction.
Yeah,
of the play.
I think Waylon Rentz was blocking sophomore number 27. And I don't see Carson Griffin, who's had a nice ball game tonight, but they are so focused off tackle, inside run that I don't think he's running the ball. Grady Miller's running the ball, and this 27 still looking inside, waiting. There was nobody home. So Liberty Center, big touchdown, and again, give Liberty-Benton so much credit, Spike and Jigs, that the turnovers, the bad snaps have cost them a lot of this game because they really have been in control of a lot of this football game tonight.
Well, I just love the patient Liberty Center defensive backfield.
Yes.
Now the boomer. That's going to come all the way down to the 6. Return straight up the right hash. Looking for a shoot. There ain't nothing there.
Man.
The special teams does it again. What a unit. Man, those guys
I'm not
are
sure
tough.
why we're flopping.
Oh, another penalty flag.
Nobody even touched that kid. Nobody touched him. That was a complete flop. That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
the kid's just falling on the ground. What are we supposed to do here?
We've got a replay on that.
Nobody
we can see if
touched
it's a flop. Let's see here. Let's watch the replay. Watch after the whistle and see if there was somebody pushing somebody.
Watch this kid just fly. He just flips. Nobody touched him.
Good grief.
Nobody touched him.
Yeah, nobody touched him.
Wow.
And we got a flag.
Well, we need a LeBron James flop
That
rule
was a
in this
flop.
game.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Good grief.
That's terrible. Well,
man, oh man.
Okay, that's part of the ball
Well,
game. Here we go.
they're looking for it now. That was a make-believe. Here we go. Liberty Center back on defense.
Now they've got to go right back into that bend but don't break that they've played well the whole time. The Tiger defense rolling out, tosses it, gets it
Grady.
underneath.
Yeah.
What a
Great
job
play.
by Grady Miller to fight through the block and bring him down back at the 36-yard line. Maybe a yard and that's all.
Jigs, Grady's so physical.
Yep.
He played right through Connor Barbera and made a one-arm tackle
time.
for basically no gain. Great job. And you talk about our defensive back spike.
Wow.
Bingo.
Yes.
There it was.
Boy.
well, you know how you answer flops and penalties like that. You just continue to hit, continue to play on defense, and that's what you hopefully see from this Liberty Center defense. Play above it, continue to play, continue to pursue, continue to hit.
All right. 2.5 to go here in the third quarter. Benton with the ball at their own 37. They're going to give it off that side. Running room now cuts it to the outside. Slowed down by Sonnenberg. Yeah, Sonnenberg, and a 1st and 10, though, for Liberty-Benton.
Yeah, Sonnenberg's got to make that tackle. It was right in his hand and right in his arms, and he fell to the ground. And Liberty, typically, we've talked about how good of a tackling unit they've been. That one was not a shining moment. Liberty's got to get it strapped back on here and get the tackling.
They opened a good hole, and then he made a good cutback to the outside just to get that into that position.
Caden's
so it
been
was
a
a good gain to start with.
Caden's been a good tackler all year, but Liberty, when they're tackling, this defense is about unbeatable.
All right, Benton moves it up to their own 47. 2:25 in the third. Now motion, swings to the other side. They run a little power
boy.
football, runs into trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Bounces off one, but the Tigers keep swarming to the ball. They keep coming like a bunch of mad hornets. Pow! In the backfield.
Yeah, that's Stephen Brogan again, just coming free, and then, just reroutes the running back, Jigs. He slows down, and here comes the rest of the black shirts, and just shut him down for a tackle for loss.
Well, we talk about the pursuit of this defense and how swarming they are, and that was a perfect example there. This team runs to the football.
Second down now and 12, so a loss. Out of the gun, double wide outs to the far side. He looks for that slant route. That's going to be over his head, incomplete. The Tigers had that umbrellaed by 4 defenders.
You're starting to see Liberty-Benton trying to call the right numbers. Without number 10, Seth Elkert, who is an absolute stud, without him drawing attention and coverage and safeties, Liberty's kind of more even Steven and really starting to shut this Liberty-Benton offense down now.
All right. Tigers with 3 down linemen. 7 in the next row of defense with Thomas Moeller, the safety. Back to throw. He wants to throw it that hard slant over the middle. Caught! What a catch!
15-yard
the ball
penalty.
was behind him, and they're going to get Garber, I think, possibly
15.
a face mask on the tackle.
Tremendous catch by Zach Elkert. He had to go back to get that, and then Liberty with another 15-yard penalty. We're going to see Garber. I don't think that was helped.
No.
He was really trying to make a tackle, and it was such a great play by Zach Elkert that another 15-yard. That's about number 5 of the night, I think, if they go 15.
Yeah, that
15 yards.
that was unfortunate.
That was
Let's
tough.
face it.
Yep.
That was a great play by Liberty-Benton.
Wow. So it's the story. Liberty-Benton turnovers and bad snaps, and Liberty Center's 15-yard penalties. The game has been a little sloppy. It's not been a great, well-played, polished game tonight by either team. Exciting.
I'll tell you what, it's been physical, though.
Yes, it has.
Oh, this is Kip Kern football physicality-wise. Oh, boy. All right, but now Liberty-Benton threatening. They've got the ball in the Tiger 22 with a 1st and 10 late in the third quarter. A little hard count, now takes the snap, straight drop. He throws for the end zone. That's going to be way overthrown. Terrific coverage. I believe that's Miller.
Targeted Connor Barbera again, another good player, but only a sophomore. And again, having Seth Elkert out of this game, it just kind of changes their threat sequence, Jigs. He's a guy you look at first and last, and he's not on the field. And
it takes away that jet motion.
Yes.
They haven't been really running that jet motion anymore. He was kind of the guy in that spot.
Well, he runs a lot out of that jet motion.
Yep.
So,
all right, Liberty-Benton's been down in Liberty Center deep in their territory before. They've got a 2nd and 10 at the 22. Now rolling right. Throws out there in the flats. Can't hang on to it. Collie come up. Give him a lick just to make sure, and that pass falls incomplete.
Intended for Reed Irwin, and again that short little roll for Trevin Lieb, and he's been very accurate on that short half roll, Jigs, and those out routes are harder for him. I think he does a much better job inside the hashes.
Yeah, he does, and that's a tight throw. I mean, Cam Colley's barreling down on that. You got about a 6-inch window there that you got to fit it, and
now, are we
decent throw, you just couldn't quite hang on.
Are we going with only 2 linebackers and more defensive backs here? It sure looks that way.
I think we got Garrison just kind of moved out.
Okay. Back to throw.
That's
Throws out there in the flats. Caught. Hit right at the 10-yard line, and that is close to a first down. We'll see the mark.
That's disappointing. Got to know where the sticks are. 3rd and 10. I mean, we gave him an 11, 12-yard cushion.
He kind of had his eyes on another receiver and wasn't quite as tight on that route.
Cam has jumped those routes where he's on the opposite hash throwing to the other sideline.
Yeah.
And that ball was in the air a lot. That's a play that you got to kind of make, but he kept in the front.
I think the cushion, guys were right. A little too much, perhaps. Nevertheless, 1st and 10 at the Tiger 12. Again, out of the gun. Double receiver to this way with a wing this side. Drops back to throw. He'll throw the high lob, and that's going to be way over the head of the running back who just did a sprint-out route to the sideline.
They call that a wheel route out of the backfield, and Cammy had that thing squared up real nice.
We saw that route a little bit earlier. That could have went for 6. The quarterback couldn't quite put on it. Kind of ran it again. Cam was all over it.
Yeah, coverage got cleaned up there.
Now, without a running game, I mean, for the most part, I mean, this doesn't play into Liberty's hands. They're the ones that have to defend. But Benton is a little bit, they're shortchanged when it comes to options here. All right, White out to either side. Man in the slot to the right side. Now motion back this way. They're going to give it right up the middle, trying to spin off of that. Grabbed there by Rentz and slowed down. He got down inside the 10. We'll look for the spot, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Eagles.
I like the way Zach Elkert runs the ball. Patient, lets his blocker set up. He's not one of these guys that's hitting the line of scrimmage and Mach 6, picks his way through, very athletic, a lot of vision.
Boy, that makes it, even though they didn't only got about 4 yards, that gives that route running a little bit more leverage here, a shorter 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, they're going to give it right up the middle.
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Rentz.
Nowhere going, and they go right back to that play, right into the teeth of the Tiger defense, and the Liberty Center licking their chops.
Yeah, Waylon Rentz all over that play, and there's a lot of keying going on, and they've got keys to read, and then they've got players, and Liberty Center doing a good job of keeping Zach Elkert bottled up.
Wow, that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. 21-0 Liberty, but Liberty-Benton threatening here with a 4th down.
Tiger Sports Live would like to thank its 2024-25 title sponsors: KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Swanton Welding, P's and Ello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, and the Gerald Grain Centers. We appreciate you guys. They support us, so please support them. All right, we're back here. Start of the 4th quarter. Liberty Center leads the Liberty-Benton Eagles 21-0. 12 minutes to go here. And people, I don't know. Okay, people are texting me. Where are we going to be next week? Where are we going to be? Well, first of all, we got to take care of business here. It looks good so far, but we don't know. What'll happen is we'll find out what venue gets selected. It'll be Sunday by noon. I'll immediately email the venue coordinator. They'll put out a site manager. Isn't always the athletic director. We know a lot of those. So I'll email on Sunday. They'll get back to me. We're probably going to be in because of our student affiliation. They like that. They think that's cool. Then the NFHS and or Spectrum has the ability to step on our broadcast, which means we'd be on video delay up until Wednesday at noon. So as soon as I know, you guys will know.
All right, 4th and 7 for Liberty-Benton at the Tiger 10. They motion over to the right. Long count. Now rolls right. Looks to the end zone. Fires. Incomplete. Knocked away by number 17, Jackson Bartell.
That's a big-time play. Jackson Bartell's got underneath that route.
Yep.
And that ball was intended for someone about 4.5 yards in the corner. But Jackson with a great play. All he has to do is knock it down, and he made the play.
Right.
Jackson Bartels has had a great senior season, and he
Yes.
is playing some fantastic football. Great job by Jackson. Liberty's defense again holds Spike.
Now the Tigers have been here before. They turned it over at the end of the first half. Now they're back at their own 9-yard line, 1st and 10 there. Double wing package. Now motion. They're going to run to the sweep. Now Miller keeps it. We've got a flag on the play again.
Yeah.
I don't like
I think it
the
was a
looks of
fumble.
that.
I think it was a fumble, Spike, and they were marking the fumble. I don't think it was a flag. Maybe it was. Let's see if there's a. Yeah, let's see if there is a flag on this play.
It looked like it was yellow. I don't.
Yeah, they do some spotting with maybe the oranges, but let's see.
Hey, real quick,
They're going to wave it off.
Napoleon Wildcats 21, the Bay Rockets 0. So Napoleon on a run right now, folks.
Okay, so now they're going to walk it back, the loss. So 5-yard loss on the I couldn't find that.
I'm going to say he had his
A
knee
fumble.
down. Maybe he had his knee down on the fumble.
I see.
You know, can't afford to turn it over and can't afford to put yourself behind the 8 ball, and Liberty has done that here again.
Well, now you just got to take care of the football.
If you saw that play, Jiggy, we had a snap fumble and he has knee down, so they've marked it and 5 yards back inside the 5-yard line.
All right, Tigers with the double wing set, motion. They're going to run sweep to that motion man, dives out forward, gets up to about the 10-yard line, Cruz on the carry. So the Tigers get a little room out away from that 5-yard line, but looking at 3rd down and about 9 to go. You just don't want to get too cute here.
You know, that first play of a drive, Spike, is so important to get positive yards, and Liberty a lot of times, this tonight in particular, have dug themselves a hole, and that playbook gets awfully thin.
Yeah.
3rd and plus 10.
Tigers might be going to throw for it. They got 2 wideouts to the far side, the wide side. No, a little misdirection on the handoff. Double reverse
Same
pass.
play earlier.
Kicks to the outside. He's at the 40. A great block downfield. Still chugging and grinding is, I believe, Cruz, and down inside the 40-yard line.
Let's get a look at that.
60 yards.
I don't know if that was a misdirection, a little inside counter. Or
Yeah, it's that same play that Garrison scored on earlier, inside trap.
Here it comes, a little inside trap.
Reverse. Yep.
Ooh, yeah, a little wing reverse, and you give Garrison an inch. Boy, he runs away from some safeties and just creates his own big play.
That's the ability of a Liberty Center to use this varied rushing attack.
There it was, Spike.
So
You said
many
it.
wrinkles.
You've talked about the wrinkles and the creativity. Give Liberty-Benton a lot of credit in their pass offense. Liberty's run offense has been creative tonight.
All right. So the Tigers have a wide out to either side. Twin setback, give to the second back, tries to kick it out. Throw it Miller, throws out the straight arm, puts his head down, powers forward, down inside the 40 to the 36.
Now Liberty Center wants to run some clock, possess the football. You know, they're in control of this football game, 21-0 in the 4th quarter. And, you know, a mistake-filled game, but Liberty is exactly where they want to be. It doesn't really matter that you've made the mistakes and had the penalties. What matters now is you're up with the ball inside their 50. Let's see what Liberty Center can get this clock down to about 5 minutes with a touchdown.
All right, 9:48. Clock running, 2nd down and 7 for Liberty Center. Collie spread out wide over here, double wing package. They're going to give it to Cruz on that end
What a
around.
block,
coming around.
Waylon Rentz.
Nice there. Throws out a straight arm, bounces off one tackle, breaks another, still going in, down inside the 15-yard line, down to the 12, 25-yard gain.
Another
flag.
flag.
You're kidding me.
It's going to be a holding call maybe, inside run. Oh, my goodness. Let's watch the run, though. Let's watch the blocking. Here comes the wing, off power. Ooh, maybe Waylon Rentz is holding there. They're going to throw it on Waylon Rentz, I bet, on that kick out. Man, oh, man.
Like a pancake to me.
Here's the deal, too. Liberty-Benton knows they need the football, working on the strip, but, man, you know, when you got Garrison Cruz, you better get him to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, focus on the football. He might score a touchdown on you. He's a little bit like Waylon Rentz. He can run by you, away from you, and through you.
Wow. Okay, from the spot of the foul, now Liberty Center looking at a 2nd and 12. The ball is on the Liberty-Benton 42. Tigers have Garber spread out wide over here with a double wing package. Single setback, Rentz. Now motion comes this way. They like that. No, give the Rentz straight ahead, right up the middle. He's going to swerve to the outside. Great block by Garber. Heading down the sideline. It's a
that will be the ball game,
Liberty
fellas.
Center Tiger touchdown, 27-0 on Baby Cakes. Give your name to the clerk because I think this one's getting a little bit closer to the end.
Well, let's watch it again. After this extra point, we'll see. It was a great trap.
Yes.
And it was just wide open, and then Waylon makes one little kind of eased into a cut, leaned into a cut, and then ran away from the secondary. That's impressive. Just a great job by Liberty Center.
Blake Garber took the corner into the safety and blocked 2 guys to kind of spring that late. That was a great block by Blake.
We're going to get a chance when Boom Boom dials that up after Ian Rosebrook. We're going to get a chance to see the blocking. But, again, the downfield blocking is so critical for Liberty Center and the explosive run plays. And Garrison Cruz has been dynamic. So was Waylon Rentz, both guys.
Ryder, the snapper, good snap. Good hold by Kreingrink. And Ian Rosebrook, 28-0. Ian Rosebrook now is 68
Here
out
comes
of
the
69
blocks. Inside trap.
The
Whoa,
season.
who got that trap block? That was Tyler Lay on a pancake. Whoa.
3 good downfield blocks.
Man, look at number 51. He knew the block he made.
It.
Woo.
Fist pumping.
Tyler Lay on the one trap and the house cleaner. Dial him up. Great job by Tyler, and then you get great blocking by Blake Garber. Man,
You're starting to see the physicality, the run game take its toll. Bigger gash runs, bigger holes now. This is kind of what Liberty Center does to you, just wears you down.
Yeah.
Spike, Liberty-Benton has had chances all night long to stay in this game on the scoreboard, but the turnovers and the mistakes that they've had is just –
Well, and forget all the mistakes we've had, but they've been down there within the 25-yard line, I think, 4 different times.
The defense hasn't broke.
But that's right. The defense hasn't broke. They've been patient. They've held the passing yardage to short plays, a lot of tackles right after the catch, not a lot of second yardage. So the Tigers' defense has done its job against this pass-happy
Well, let me remind everybody,
team.
Liberty Center, the best scoring defense in Division 5, giving up less than 4 points a game.
Line drive kick, picked up at the 20-yard line, returned straight ahead. Tyler Lay-in on that, tripped up by Jackson Bartels. Tyler Lay-in, let's see, Mason Smith, another outstanding special teams player. Mason Smith is like 6th on the team in tackles, and he's a special player for Liberty. He has really done well all year long.
Called Tyler Lay's number again on special teams. I mean, he's just one of the best special team player around. I mean, the guy is breaking walls and making tackles.
Hey, and Liberty Center is being forced to play 4 quarters. You got to love that, no matter what. All right, now rolling out.
There it
in
was.
Trouble. Sagalino. It's a fumble.
Waylon Rentz just on free and a free release. And I don't think that Trevin Lieb even felt him coming because he came inside and then outside. Let's watch this blitz by Rentz. He's sitting over top the tight end and goes inside the tight end tackle hole, and there was just nothing there. Wow. And he closed on that.
It's not a guy you want barreling down on you.
That's that defensive coordinator. That's and Mr. Weimer, the
Matt Bryan
backer coach.
Matt Bryan has dialed up an excellent defensive game plan, and Eric Weimer
now
great
second
linebacker
down
coach.
and a mile, and they'll give it off that left side. And spins forward, and they pick up about 12 yards of that big sack.
Well, Liberty Center's okay with that spike because the clock is running, and keep it inside the numbers. And this, this game is in hand at 28-0. We don't want to give up points. Matt Bryan, and like you said, we're playing a 4-quarter football game, Jigs, and no score, a lot of pride here in that.
All right, with the 5 wide out set for drops back, has time, throws it out there. That's going to be caught up at the 40-yard line, so a gain of about 11 there. Now that Liberty-Benton looking at 3 yards to go.
Okay, the winner of this game will play the Oak Harbor Rockets. They beat Keystone Wildcats 35-7. That's a final.
Well, the whole attitude of this offense changed when Seth Elkert went out of the game, Jigs.
Yep.
I mean, when you take number 1 out, they've been struggling to find that second and third guy to step up for Seth.
All right, another spread formation. Long count. Now rolling right. Lofts it out there. That's going to be caught at the 45. Slips through one tackle, but the Tigers stay with it and finally brought down by Steve Brogan.
A lot of licks being laid out there by the Tigers. So if you're going to catch the football, a price will be paid. Liberty Center doing a really good job of wrapping up, hitting, and putting some licks on some guys tonight.
I don't believe we've seen Max Walker, back in the game. He's standing there. And
he's been banged up all year.
Yep.
Got to get him healthy.
All right, 1st and 10 from their own 47. Benton throwing caution to the wind with 5 wideouts. You're going to throw the home run ball. We got 4 on 2.
Oh, yeah, Grady.
Intercepted by Grady Miller like a center fielder. Now turning it back upfield. He's got a cordon of blockers. He gets past one. Now follows the blocker and barrels his way up to the 35-yard line. Liberty Center shuts them down again.
Well, it's just turnover after turnover. Seems like Liberty's had the penalties and Liberty-Benton the turnover, but watch Grady Miller.
Watch this catch.
Grady's got this route down. He turns and then just goes and reaches and makes a great play. Now you're going to see number 17, Jackson Bartels, get smoked here. Ooh. But Liberty, great job. 3 picks tonight, turning them over.
Well, this is what we've seen this defense do time and time again. They find a way to get their hands on football.
Now let's see who the guards are. I imagine you've got
Lay and Brogan.
Brogan in there as the other guard. Okay. All right. Double wing package. Motion this way. They're going to come right there with their power. Puts his head down. Pounds up across the 35-yard line. Pickup of about 2 for the Tigers.
Is Cifuentes a guard or tackle over there?
Yeah, he's a guard.
Playing guard, right guard, left guard, Tyler Lay.
Yeah. Yeah, Clayton Seal. He rocks and rolls every play.
You know, guys, keep an eye on Liberty-Benton next year. This team is junior laden.
Yes.
This is going to be a really good football team next year. So, folks at home, keep them in mind.
Yeah, all the skilled guys come back. They're juniors.
They do.
All right, same double wing package. Motion this way. They're going to give it straight ahead. Running room there. Puts his head
get
down.
off.
Still going. Breaks a tackle at the 50. Heading off to the races now is Rentz. Finally brought down at the 30-yard line.
Yes, sir.
34-yard pickup.
The big boss man had a choice. Cut to the outside or barrel into somebody. I like his choices.
Watch these elbows. Just
boom!
Get off.
Oh, my goodness.
He's so low.
Laying
he can't
waste.
Get into the legs.
Oh, man.
That is impressive.
He does that. You talked about that. The shoulders get low, and you not only bury people, but then you just kind of like humiliate them, and you leave them in your wake. Wow. What a great run by Waylon Rentz.
All right, Liberty comes out with that same double wing set. You got a man in the slot, now motion. They give it straight ahead on a power to Rentz, and Rentz will pick up a couple, but at this stage of the game, we're not worried about how many. It's just let's keep the football and keep grinding, keep executing.
Got that right, Spike. The execution has sharpened in the second half.
Yep.
You know, you take away the penalties, and the half has been really
and
well
in
run.
Fact, let's break those apart. The penalties have been terrible, but the execution has been
excellent.
Terrific.
Yes. The offensive
all
line.
night long, both sides of the ball.
Very good tonight on the offensive line.
All right, Cruz wide out to the far side. That same double wing set. Moeller the single setback. Now play action. Now rolling right. Has to in trouble now and brought down from behind. Good effort by Liberty-Benton out there. Miller might have been able to turn that into a big play, but a big tackle.
Let me say this. That was a very smart play. He could have thrown that ball away. Clock stops. He gets his knee down. The clock keeps rolling.
Yep.
You know, he could have done a lot of things, but what he did do, Spike, was the most important thing. Kept the clock rolling. Great job by Grady.
Yeah. About Barbera, he's had a really good night.
Double-digit tackles. We knew coming in he was a stud. He has delivered.
All right, I believe that's Now motion this way. They're going to run some more power football. And a good knifing tackle takes
Austin
Cruz
Collard
on, head on, and that's going to be no gain of the play. Cruz a little bit jinkered there.
You're right. All the playmakers are juniors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They got 7 seniors, but they are loaded with juniors.
Line is a lot of
There's
juniors.
a bunch of juniors. That defensive line, all juniors, and their playmakers, Jigs, juniors.
Yep.
You're right. Keep an eye on this team next year. They may not lose a game until well into the playoffs.
They're going to be a really good football team.
That was a really nice looking play, too,
Garrison
by Austin.
came off a little hobbled. Hopefully he's okay here.
All right.
Captain's calling 30 trap up here.
Motion.
Yeah,
you
Liberty
think you're
Center.
Tony Romo. We got Tony Romo calling plays up here. The captain going to Vegas on a 30 trap. That's, by the way, that's not that hard. We run a bunch of them. Now, if it was Rex Lingard, it would be a 30 trap. Well, Spike 28-0 here. Finish this game. Liberty Center, another win, gets to 12-0. 12-0.
Right.
I mean, 43 out of the last 45. I mean, Liberty Center is on a little bit of a roll, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And their last 2 losses were to the state champions.
Yeah, that's impressive, man.
You know, what this is good. We've had to play 4 quarters of football.
Yes.
And we've been challenged in many different ways. Liberty-Benton came at us with a lot of weapons, and we answered the bell time after time after time on defense. Offensively, they did some good things. They were a little bit of stunting. They kept us slightly off balance. But the power and the glory in Liberty Center football, we can run the football 92 different ways. And when you're throwing the ball downfield, there's only so many routes and so many different things you can do. And so Liberty's style of football may not be the wildest on, on Wall Street or on the walk, but this is what Liberty football is all about. It's Kip Kern football. It's just Tiger tough. All right, wing right set. Miller rolling right, looks upfield, fires it out there in the flats, just out of the reach.
Little rollout, and I think Grady'd like to have that throw back. He had him. I don't know if he had him for the first down, but, those out routes, Jigs, you've talked about it. Those are hard balls to throw.
Yeah.
And
especially when you're on the run and throwing. It's one thing you have a 3-step, stick it and throw it, but when you're on the run, that window is very small. It is a tough throw to make.
Well, we know the bread and butter of this offense is to run the football, tackle to tackle, inside the guards, and that's who we're going to be. Whether you like it or not, we're going to run the football.
All right, linebackers, they run 6 deep across there with a 3-man front. Throws out there in the flats. That's going to be caught and tackled as he goes flying out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. That might be enough to move the chains with 3.5 minutes to go.
Those are tough plays for cornerbacks, Jigs. You got a blocker in front of you that's bigger than you, and you got to get off that block, and you got to go make a tackle. And Cam Colley did a great job fighting through the block and getting to the runner.
You can't pick a side there either, because then you pick a side, and then the receiver has a lane to pick.
Guys, the PH game just went final 24-0 over the Cary Blue Devils.
Cary football power. All right, has time to throw, waits, finds a second receiver out in the flats. That'll be enough to move the sticks. It'll be a first down for Liberty-Benton.
Good play by Caden Sonnenberg and Cam Colley. I mean, Cam is a good tackler.
Yes, he is.
He does get off blocks.
Yep.
He is physical for his size. I mean, you're talking 5'9", $155. He ain't 5'9".
No.
He might be 5'7", but he plays tough. And they've done a great job at the corner for us this year.
All right, empty backfield. Throws underneath, and that is going to be
that's a fumble.
down.
See, that's
Garrison Cruz.
And
on the
TJ
TJ
Cruz forces the fumble on the tackle. Great coverage. Only gave up a couple of yards.
Catch it.
That was the TJ Watt, kind of hammer. He's been doing that tonight, but that one really worked from behind. Here comes the replay. Watch 30. You see this TJ Watt kind of move where he bam.
Yeah.
What a play.
The hammer, the ball's out.
That's next level, man.
That's a couple barkers right there, buddy.
Tell you what, Garrison Cruz had himself a ball game.
He did.
And, I'm not doing any campaigning, but that one right there.
But stay with us. You'll find out who the Tough Like Kent Dog player is tonight.
The KK Collision post-game
show.
Double wing set. Moeller in motion. They're going to get it straight ahead to Rents. Breaks up the middle.
Yes, sir.
Now Powell's the blocker. Pulls a straight arm out. And all the way down into the end zone. It's another Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
The captain called 30 trap a couple plays ago. He got his 30 trap.
Going to Vegas, baby.
Woo. Going to Vegas on the 30 trap. Or the Rex Lingern special. Yes, sir.
I think Liberty-Benton has had enough.
Yeah.
We're starting to see big gash runs and big holes and starting to kind of.
Yeah, a lot of dudes want to see the bus right now. Spike, you've talked about it. The patience in Liberty Center's running game. They never abandon it. They will find the opportunities. They've done it all night.
That's what I mean. There's so many wrinkles within the big picture. Here's another kick. It's up. It splits the uprights, and they're going to call that one good again. What a weapon that offensive team is with that kicking specialists there. That three-man crew powers in another one.
Well, Liberty Center. Let's watch. Ooh, another good block by 51. Tyler Lay's having a big night.
Yep.
That's his play, man. He's low. He can get you right in the suplexes or the solar plexus.
Powerful.
And great block on the trap. And
I'm going to have to get with Tom Russell. He showed me some stats, and I didn't quite get them read right. But Ian Rosebrook is really moving up the chain of kickers in scoring at the state level, maybe for all time.
Wait a minute. I think you called him Ian. The fan base demands
Ian. Hey, of course, whenever I make a comment, I get people that correct me because I'm wrong a lot. Travis Schultz, he's always one that keeps me honest. But Liberty's last 3 losses were to state champs: Cary, South Range, and Perry.
Yep.
Wow.
If you're going to lose a game, losing to state champ is not the worst thing. I'll tell you what, this ball game here had a lot of juice.
It did.
A lot of mistakes. Liberty-Benton kind of gave it away a lot, but very entertaining. This Liberty-Benton team and Scott Garlock will be back.
Good football team.
All right, the kickoff down to the 5-yard line. Ian Rosebrock kicked that on. He's going to run into a bunch. They wanted nothing to do with that.
Guess who?
Under another swarm, and of course T. Lay at the bottom of it.
And he comes out with the ball.
Oh, man. I think Jackson Bartels was in there too, was he? Yeah, he's had a big night tonight.
Mason Smith in there.
Deegan Swigert.
Swigert's
about a twin to Tyler.
I know.
Tyler Lay. So we get Tyler Lay 2.0. I'll take it. Deegan's a bad dude as well. He's like an M80. These guys just go off. Wow. Liberty Center defense starting to tune it up. That coverage team, Brian Hefflinger has just, I can't say it enough, what a great job Brian's done all year with that special teams.
All right, Benton comes out again. They're just going to give it on that little delay up the middle, and he'll pound forward, pick up about 8. 2:28 clock running, and
wow. Guys, I'm following some of the games. Eastwood 56, Norway 49 in the fourth quarter. Wow. Napoleon 28-0 on a shutout so far.
Impressive.
PH with a shutout. Napoleon with a shutout. The pressure's on.
Well, let me tell you right now.
That's 2 shutouts in a row for Napoleon.
Oak Harbor football game.
Yeah.
Gear up.
Yeah.
Gear up.
Yeah, get the double straps on the helmet.
This is the Region 18. You got back-to-back. You get by Oak Harbor, and you got to deal with another nasty. So Liberty better strap it on.
All right, give off that right side. Tries to cut outside. Met right there, and a good solo tackle.
There you go. Senior.
Will Fitzenrider.
And Fitzenrider has been a rising senior as well, also joining LC Tiger Sports Live as an intern this winter. Spike, you might be working with him in the booth a little bit in some basketball games. LC Tiger Sports Live beginning a more aggressive internship program with our high school players.
Hey, PH will play Hopewell Loudon, the number 1 seed. Napoleon will play Sandusky Perkins.
By the way, I'm taking Patrick Henry in that one now. I'm calling the Patriots right now.
Napoleon goes up against Perkins, which only lost 12-0 to Kirkland.
And they lost to Milan Edison, too. Milan Edison beat them as well.
All right, give right up the middle. Mason Smith in there on the hit, but we've got a host of Tiger tacklers also. Number 25, Cole Spangler, another
Bockelman as well.
Rising star. Bockelman's stock is starting to move up in the chain, too.
You think he's a blue blood around here, Bockelman? That name matter around here a little
bit?
I think he's got.
Who is that guy?
There were a bunch of farmers over by Napoleon.
You see him standing next to his brother, and it's
Township.
pretty similar look.
Yeah.
He's kind of got the same body type.
Landon Bockelman, an all-time player here. Kind of put together like Leininger, Matt Leininger.
Yeah.
Just
big
dudes.
Yep.
All right. Maybe the final play of the game, the give right up the middle, and that's going to go
Play
nowhere.
there.
Liberty
Braxton
Center
Light.
stops that one cold.
Play.
And I believe that may be the last play of the game.
Man, oh man.
Wow, what an onslaught. This was two giants coming at each other.
Stats. Scott,
All right.
Scott
Scott's
Barrett's
going for
running
stats.
up there and getting stats here. So 3 shutouts by the 3 Henry County teams tonight, Spike.
Wow.
Napoleon, PH, and now Liberty Center.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Well, the Tigers win at 35-0. We'll be back with Scott with the stats and all the imposing and overloading talk. And Barb's changed back and forth. But what a football game by Liberty Center.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Tiger Sports Live would like to thank its 2024-25 title sponsors, KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Swanton Welding, P's and Ello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, and the Gerald Grain Centers. We appreciate you guys. They support us, so please support them. All right, it's time here at Rex Lindgren Stadium for the KK Collision post-game show. KK Collision, your automotive repair center here in Liberty Center. 23 years, premier auto repair. Guys, you know, the game started out, to me, Liberty-Benton, very controlled offense. They knew what they could do against Liberty Center. It wasn't big chunks. It was they were going to chip away at it. They were going to do ball control, and they did that. You know, I went back and watched the Columbus Grove film, you know, and they did that to Columbus Grove. And Columbus Grove is very, I think, very comparable to what we do. And the turnover bug bit them, and Columbus Grove just the momentum shift. And I think that's exactly what I saw as an innocent bystander back here. And I do say innocent, you Spike. As an innocent bystander, you know, standing back in the back here, that's kind of what I saw. And I think, you know, Scott, maybe the stats will give us a little bit different. I know the first half stats had Liberty-Benton now gaining us in total yardage and first downs and whatever. So the ball control was certainly there, but the turnover bug bit them.
Liberty-Benton scores on their first drive against Columbus Grove and then just turns the game away. And tonight that was the story. Some eye-popping numbers. Very entertaining football game, not the cleanest. This was not a very clean football game with two very well-coached teams. I think these coaches will be pleased. Liberty-Benton, I think Scott Garlock will reload for next year. Casey's got some work to do. I think he's looking forward to it. Here comes the stats here. Liberty Center, first downs. Liberty-Benton with 20. They had a great first half. Liberty Center with 13. Total yards, Liberty Center unofficially with 412 yards. Liberty-Benton with 248. Passing yards, Liberty Center was with 2 yards. Liberty-Benton with 178. Trevin Lieb was 23 of 40 for 194 yards and 3 interceptions. Rushing, Liberty Center, 34 rushes for 410 yards. That is impressive, especially when Liberty-Benton was geared up. 5-man line, 8.5 guys in the box. That's a 12-yard per rush average. Liberty-Benton was 70 on 29 carries. The stat of the night, I think Casey will be chomping at the bit Saturday morning, was 8 penalties for 95 yards, and that has been going on all season long. Liberty-Benton, 2 penalties for 20 yards. The story of the game for me tonight, you'll comment it when we're done, Liberty-Benton with 6 turnovers and 2 bad snaps. 8 catastrophic offensive plays where they were either turnovers or just horrible inopportune things, and you cannot do that against the number two team in Division 5. Time of possession, Liberty-Benton with almost 30 minutes of ball control, speaking right to what the captain talked about, a lot of ball control, and Scott Garlock had a great game plan if they could have held on to it. Liberty had the ball for 18 minutes and 29 seconds. The rushing stats for Liberty-Benton, Zach Eichert, 23 rushes for 74 yards. Liberty-Benton wanted to be balanced, and they fought to be balanced, and they were. Hats off. One other eye-popping statistic tonight, Liberty-Benton, their top defender, C.J. Barbera, 6'4", 200-pound junior with 12 tackles, and a lot of them dominant, 6 tackles for loss. That dude is a bad man.
Yep.
Now, Liberty Center's rushing offense tonight, led by Waylon Rentz and Garrison Cruz. Garrison Cruz, 8 rushes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they were big-time runs. But Waylon Rentz, the senior, 13 carries for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Whoa.
That's a couple bad dudes right there, man. That's a couple bad men.
Wow.
Also, I think I know who I'm – there's a pretty easy path to the Tiger Tough player of the game. Garrison Cruz with 14 tackles.
Wow.
So Cruz has a big night running the football and has a defensive guru night. Jeez. And then Waylon Rentz backs it up with 12. And then Cam Colley, of course, in a really efficient passing game, had 9. Liberty Center had a lot of players flash, but had the players that needed to flash really did the job. And a big win for Liberty Center, 35-0, Spike.
Wow. Yep. To me, it was dominated. Our defensive backs as a whole played, I thought, superbly. It was a lot of dink and dunk, but we never gave up, I think, maybe one long pass. They never completed the home run ball. We defended that well. Yeah, they kept throwing it underneath. But a passing game, if you try to take it down the field, 4 yards of play, that is tough to do.
Yep.
Our Liberty Center offense tonight ran hard, ran big plays. No, we didn't control the time of possession, but that's so sometimes misleading. I think Liberty Center played very well, and the penalties they got, they weren't the holding at the line of scrimmage or jumping off sides. This was playmaking penalties. This was a man's type of penalty they were getting. I can overlook some of that.
I'm going to see if Casey tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to bring that in our locker room tomorrow.
It might be, oh, man.
I would say you got to give Liberty-Benton a lot of credit. Scott Garlock, 72-12 in his 9th season coming in here. An offensive guru. He created a lot of opportunities for his offense tonight. And had they not turned it over, Brian, this is a different ballgame.
Yeah.
They controlled the first half. They did a great job in time of possession. They completed a lot of balls. Trevin Lieb had a great game tonight. Other than the turnovers, I mean, he just looked the part. He delivered a lot of tough throws, those little dig routes, the timing routes. He was really good tonight outside of the turnovers. And some of the turnovers, he was going for long plays down the field and just turned it over to Grady. I really felt tonight Liberty Center's penalties. Unfortunately, every team kind of has their deal, and that's Liberty's has been the penalties, and let's just hope it doesn't cost you. And that in the passing game, we are who we are. And Rex Lindgren in his era, and Cliff Height, the legendary coach at Bryan and Finley, would tell you Rex Lindgren wants to run the ball, 3rd and plus 10, 3rd and plus 15, he going to run the football, and that's what Casey did tonight effectively. Monster games by Waylon Rentz and Garrison Cruz tonight. Those two just had big games in the offensive line. Liberty-Benton did some really good things on defense. I mean, they got off the ball quick. They moved that line a little bit. They did some run blitzing and made some stops early, but Liberty just wore them down, Brian, and really dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think a few things stood out to me. Obviously, we knew this Liberty-Benton offense was going to have some success. You and I talked about it. We thought they'd get a couple of touchdowns tonight. This defense did bend a little bit.
It did.
But it buckled down in that red zone, and they did not they were in the red zone, probably three times tonight?
Oh, at least.
And and Liberty Center stopped them every single time.
Yeah.
Whether that was a turnover or what, but the turnovers were not unforced. I mean, these were forced turnovers from Liberty Center's defense making the play. So that's what stood out to me, and also in the second half, this is what Liberty Center does. They continue to pound, and you saw that momentum get going shortly in the second half there, and then it just rolled downhill from there. That's what that run game does to you.
Liberty-Benton, 20 first downs and 30 minutes controlling the football. I mean, you just got to hand it to Coach Garlock and what Liberty-Benton was able to do. And if they don't turn the ball over
with no points, though.
Yeah, and if you didn't know the score, you'd think, okay, well, that's
and the first half, I mean, you could just make the argument Liberty-Benton controlled a lot of elements of this football game. So, but again, bend no break. Liberty turned them over and then ground out the running game. And Liberty-Benton at some point, like Columbus Grove, just could not stand there and take the abuse, in the run game. And Liberty came out on top tonight.
All right, guys. Well, I think we pretty much statted the game out, and Liberty Center with a 35-0 victory, and the stats confirm that. So, all right, well, guys, guess what time it is? It's the Kent Dog Award. Tough like Kent Dog. I tell you what, there's a couple of cool things I saw tonight. I'm going to go first. You guys can decide who it is, but
you're the boss. The boss goes first.
I mean, the missile, Tyler Lay. I mean, you got to love.
And his trap blocks. I mean, he was phenomenal on the 0-1
trap.
Not
only is he a missile running downfield anytime, he just wants to hit somebody, anybody, everybody. If I'm on his team.
Somebody, everybody.
I'm not turning my back on him.
No.
Even if I got a Tiger jersey on, I'm not turning my back on Tyler Lay. You never know. He might. You're the only one left. Wham. So, Tyler Lay. Jackson Bartell.
Yep.
He made his presence felt. I mean, some big hits. Special teams, Jackson Bartell made some great plays on defense, too. Bartels. Yep. And, made some great plays on there. But, my candidate's going to be Gary Cruz. Yeah. Garrison, his offensive, those runs that he had on those double handoffs, just the cuts and the toughness. They tried to strip the ball, and he's like, "Get off me, dude! I don't know what you're trying to do, but you better try to tackle me because you're not going to do that." But then the amount of tackles he made, and on the run blitzes, I mean, just cleaned up.
Big interception.
Yeah, had an interception too
on the goal line.
Yeah, and guys, and it wasn't like they were playing against an undersized,
undermanned
team. I mean, this offensive defensive line for Liberty-Benton is tough. And Garrison Cruz, man, was just the tougher dog tonight for me.
All right, Spike Whitman.
Well, I want to get an early mention. Thomas Moeller quarterbacked the defense tonight. And you see the way Liberty Center, every time Liberty-Benton would get down inside the 25-yard line, we made plays. Somebody's got to be out there directing traffic. And as excruciating as our defensive backs were, Thomas is the one directing traffic. Mm-hmm. He made a play coming across from his safety spot.
Broke up a big play.
To take away a possible touchdown on a 50-yard play. And that set a tone early on, and the Tiger defense followed that. Now, he doesn't have the whole game, but his presence week in and week out, I think, is a steadying force for the Tiger defense. Yep. And tonight, we needed that. We could go on about Garrison. There were several players that stood out, but and you guys you've mentioned them already. But that's my 2 cents.
So your player is Garrison, or no?
Well, yeah, I guess I'll go with Garrison overall.
Well, it's hard for Spike to just pick one.
It's
like eating blueberries. It's like eating blueberries. You can't just eat one.
You get a shirt, and you get a shirt, and you get a shirt.
Jingo.
Well, I'll give you a broad. I got about 5 names. 2 corners I thought played outstanding tonight. Interceptions, on routes, tackling great in space. Grady Miller and Cam Colley I thought played really good
that
games.
was shut down football.
It was.
Everything Liberty
again against
did.
one of the premier athletes in the area, Trey Rubenstein, and now you can add this receiver too.
So both them players had really big nights. Impressed there. Tyler Lay all over the place. Special teams, guard, just playing to the whistle. He plays so hard, and he's so physical, and he's such he's just a problem for the other team. If you're a linebacker on the other team, you're like, this 51. This guy is just all over me all game, and is to the whistle every single time. I love how he plays. 2 running backs, I think, kind of rise above that. I mean, Waylon Rentz ran like a man possessed tonight, just running people over.
Earl Campbell.
Just the way he gets his elbows down and he runs in front of his shoulders, it's impressive. And he just runs people over. And then Garrison Cruz, I mean, at any time when he touches the football, he can take it. Interception tonight, big-time tackles, and then his dynamic running. So I think if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go Garrison Cruz, but a lot of big.
I'm gonna
plays tonight.
upset the apple cart because Garrison Cruz, he's stunk tonight. He wasn't worth a darn. Garrison was awesome. A couple of guys that you won't talk about in the headlines, but when you watch the game like we do and with Boom Boom's replays, Jackson Bartels, a lot of plays, tackles, hits, special teams. There's a diverse player that's doing a lot of things for your football team. He's not gaining 500 yards. He's not catching 44 balls. Excellent complementary player and a fantastic finish to his senior year.
Yep.
We can talk about the passing game, and we'll talk about that maybe in our podcast this week. But the fact is, I love Grady Miller's game today. Shut down corner. He's like a dark cloud over their number one receiver. That phenomenal interception. I loved he runs the ball basically one time on a keep for a touchdown, and it was just a great play call. I know that Ryan Miller's up there calling those plays. I know that Todd Spangler sees it, and certainly Casey Mueller called it. I like Grady's play tonight. You want more out of the passing game, but he threw the ball 4 times. It wasn't about that.
Right.
It really wasn't about that tonight. If you
when
don't,
you have 400 yards rushing.
Yeah, it's not about that. It's about W's and it's about productivity, and we got that done, and certainly Grady's a big part of that.
I want to mention one other name.
You just interrupted me, man. What are you doing? Go ahead. Go.
Like it's the first time. You're not new here. Clayton Seal.
For sure. Every day.
Oh, yeah.
Lunch
Clayton
pail
Seal,
every day. Every day. Blue collar.
You watched him 5 yards down the field, 7 yards down the field, 6 yards down the field, picking up that secondary.
You stole my thunder.
Oh,
I had a whole.
said.
I had a whole thing on Clayton Seal because there's a guy that doesn't get. And Spike's really good at that. He's like, you got this guy, and they're like, gosh, you forget to Clayton Seal.
Yeah, what he said.
Clayton Seal's a clock in, 7 days a week.
You don't
lunch
notice
pail
the center.
guy. But he is the guy that goes to work
we got to get some
every day.
Liberty Center lunch pails and hard hats.
He's the guy.
And just get
a sledgehammer over the shoulder, a lunch pail. He's showing up every day. No sick days, no personal days. Clayton Seal had a nice ball game. When you run the zero trap like that, man, it is the center.
Yeah.
Starts that play. But Tyler Lay was phenomenal. His special team, he's just been outstanding. Playing like a hungry senior, playing to the whistle to his final
I think
destination.
What everybody's saying builds into one thing. This is not one or two stud athletes.
It's a unit. Get the unit of
Yes, this is a team. This is 70 football players molding into one. There is no All-American on this team.
Well, that's what Casey said. The team without Landon Bachman, the team without the twins, or the triplets. So you're right. You nailed it. You've been listening to that speech. You've heard that. I don't know if that was yours or his.
Well, I'm not going to say I coined the phrase.
We had 80 views. Spike was 50 of them.
Every day. He should. If he charged a royalty, he'd be rich. All right. So, my winner's easy. It's Garrison Cruz. I mean, he was phenomenal on defense, 14 tackles, big night running. He had a phenomenal game. We needed it. There were tough points of this game. He answered the bell every time. My pick is Garrison Cruz.
Yeah, I think that's the winner right there. Garrison Cruz, our tough like Kent dog, winner for tonight, and he'll get the shirts. I've got them all now except for his. Will Fitzenreiter's shirt came in just today. 3-cord deliver those. Thank you for that, and we'll distribute those to the Tough Like Kent Dog award winners. And Garrison Cruz will be added to that list. So, we'll move on to next week. Like I said, guys, we don't know. Social media, I'll post it. We'll know. We're going to probably be there regardless, okay? With our student-run engineers and Cole and Brady now involved with us, they'll let us do it. I just don't know what capacity. Perrysburg is still in, so I believe they're not going to put in for the game. It'd be tough for them because all games are on Friday nights. So they're still in. I'm thinking it's going to be Lake or Clay. I have my preference. I love Clay. The guy out there is great to work with. Their facility's kind of cool. They got these mezzanines on the end. It gives us a great outdoor. We can kind of be ourselves. But then the NFHS and Spectrum steps in, and they'll decide if we can do audio only or we can do the live game. So when I know, everybody out there, you'll know. We'll put it on our social media. That's on Facebook. We'll post it on our YouTube channel. You'll see it. Hit the like button. You'll get the notifications. As soon as I know, you'll know. So I think that's about it. Spike, you want to take us home? This is our final swan song game from Rexlinger Stadium, Kip Kern Field.
Well, you know, this game came down to Liberty Center playing Kip Kern football. The Tigers grounded out, and they continued to grind, and they made it work, and that was a difference in the game. Forget the turnovers. Liberty Center made their style of play work. Liberty-Benton could not make their style win the game for them. So, hats off to the Tigers. They win it 35-0. They move on to week number 13. And with that, everybody, for all the crew here, it's good night. And I want to tell you, I was waiting for this one. It's good Tiger Sports.